All right, D Cubed Podcast, not squared. We made a mistake and said squared. D Cubed Podcast, in the building. We're gonna start off.
Yes, sir. This is LJ.
This is Jay speaking here. We're gonna go ahead and do it like this. Our last podcast, I said some things that I have to address and I have to apologize for. I apologize. Oh no, in our second episode, I speak real condescendingly to this guy, talking about how I know how it works behind the scenes and whatnot, and then I made one of the biggest wrong predictions I could have made, saying that the Cavs would win and the Warriors waxed that ass. So for that, I must apologize for speaking that way, and I have to hold nail because I thought I was 100% sure that the Cavs would win, and I was wrong. Anytime you're 100% sure, anytime you say you are and it doesn't come to fruition, that's not a good look. And I look bad, no question about it. So, LJ, I apologize, and I hope you forgive me.
Yes, apology accepted.
All right, that's what's up. So now that that's out the way, we're gonna go ahead and move on. And the big news in hip hop dropped 5-6 days ago. Jay-Z dropped his 13th studio album, 444. I don't know if he was inspired by Moses Malone when he's 444. And just to go on a tangent real quick, as a basketball fan, people always quote that. But have you ever looked for the footage of that?
What you talking about with Moses Malone?
Yeah, when he said 444.
No.
Man, dude, everybody always talk about that, but you cannot find it on the internet.
Well, they didn't really have, footage like that probably wasn't as available as it is now, so.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, he dropped his album, and we have not listened to the entire album, but we listened to the intro track, Kill Jay-Z. LJ, he's the pure hip hop head here. I mean, I like hip hop music too, but I don't know as many artists and stuff as he does. So I'm gonna defer to him, and I'm gonna have him give his thoughts. Go ahead.
Man, I haven't heard the album, but I heard the first track. I'm gonna wait till the album drops, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get it either through Amazon or cop it. But based on the first track that I heard, it's phenomenal. I can't wait till it comes out. You know what I'm saying? He's already one of my favorite artists. What he was talking about in that song was deep too. Like he was talking about some real shit. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking about things that I didn't even know, like how he felt. You know what I'm saying? Very well put together. Very well. Very well.
Did you catch on to the Kanye diss?
Yeah, man. He said he gave the man $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Can you imagine writing a check for $20 million and be like, and that's all I need? I mean, like it ain't nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was deep. I don't know if it was a diss.
Well, he's saying this fuck everybody attitude, is what Kanye has. And he says that if everyone is crazy, then you're the one that's insane. He was talking that whole thing was about. He said 20 minutes on stage, and then he said something about Kumbaya.
Right.
Yeah, that was a Kanye diss.
Well, I knew it was aimed at Kanye. I didn't know he was trying to diss him, though.
Well, okay, if you don't want to call it a diss, call him insane. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not a diss, but Kanye didn't take kindly to it. Apparently, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I thought Jay-Z and Kanye were back on the road of being cool again. Word on the street was that Kanye and Kim Kardashian went to their house and was chilling over at their crib and everything like that a while back. So I thought they were back on the road to recovery. Obviously not. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure, but I didn't know Kanye was on Tidal, but they said something about he wants off Tidal. It wasn't just because of the Jay-Z diss. It had something to do with money too, but he wants off Tidal. This stuff I said, so I saw. Excuse me. So I don't know. But yeah, my thoughts on it. To be honest with you, I'm not really a big Jay-Z fan. I mean, it was good, but to me, he in most tracks I hear from him, I have a real particular style of rapping that I like. Jay-Z, I definitely recognize his talent, and sometimes he's shown me that he can do the kind of stuff I like too. But in that particular track, lyrically, it's like that's just it's really good. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not really my style. I'm gonna probably listen to more of the album, but because anytime Jay-Z drops an album at this point, I'm gonna listen to it. But,
yeah. So basically, if it doesn't have a bunch of punchlines in it, y'all, he ain't really fucking with it.
Not just punchlines, but like I said, Kendrick, he's not my style of rapper either. And I gave you an example. Like if he was able to be my type of rapper, he would have done something more along the lines of what I said. And I think that was a well put way of doing it. Like because you said like Kendrick said something about what's that song called? It was on that Untitled Unmastered album, correct? Did that track?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So none of those really have real names, but it was this track. He said something about Kobe and Phil, and it seemed like that was the first part to his rhyme scheme, the first bar to his rhyme scheme, and then he didn't even rhyme with that shit. He just moved on to the next one. It's like he does that a lot. I don't like that. It's an ear sore to me. So like I said, if he would have said, instead of saying whatever he said afterwards, Kobe and Phil kidnapped his bitch so he know we for real. You can keep that going. It's not just about punchlines. So I value multis more than punchlines. It's not just the punchlines. And the thing is, that's being a wordsmith. This is when you hear someone showcasing lyrical proficiency. That's what they're doing. The kind of stuff that I value. I mean, I understand that that's not all there is to it. You have to have some kind of deep subject matter sometimes.
I don't know if any person, any fan that would say that Kendrick Lamar is not a wordsmith.
Well, if he's a I'm not gonna say he's not a wordsmith. I'm not gonna say he's not a wordsmith because he's shown that he has that. It's something about it where it just doesn't. It's not really my style. It ain't just the punchlines though. I'm trying to reiterate that again and again. It's not just the punchlines. It's hard. It's kind of hard to really describe. It's just a feeling almost. All I say is it's just rhyme schemes. I don't really like that much. Now back to Jay-Z though. That's generally how Jay-Z raps when he's trying. I've heard that was way better than some of the stuff he's been putting out lately. That's what Jay-Z for like probably 70% of his career. If not more. That's how he normally raps. It's nice. It's just not quite my style. And apparently, like if you want to compare Renegade, if you want to look at Renegade, compare Eminem and Jay-Z. What do people always say? That Jay-Z got killed on that song. Nas said it. He made that shit popular, and everyone was saying it. And and I feel like that means that people saying that Eminem is more my type of rapper.
Yeah, but I have a problem with motherfuckers acting like Eminem just dogged Jay-Z out. If you really listen to what Jay-Z was spitting in that, they was both hit. They both was spitting.
They both were.
Now, did Eminem get him? Yeah, he got him. You know what I'm saying? But like motherfuckers making it seem like Jay-Z was just trash, and he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? He was really spitting hard. Like,
yeah, absolutely he was. And that's the thing. It was not bad by any means. And people don't say that. They just said he got. That's how good Eminem's was to people. They saying you got killed. Your shit was good and you still got killed. That's how much better Eminem's was. But I bring that up to say he's more my style of rapper, and people saying people saying he killed Jay-Z. So that goes to show that I'm not in the minority. People, whether they realize it or not, gravitate more to that style of Eminem, like free flowing and just hitting you with bar after bar, multis and all that shit. That's what I like. Jay-Z's not that kind of rapper. You know what I'm saying? So, but I still could sit back and say it was good. The beat choice, people were saying, again, we haven't listened to the entire album, but they're saying he's using these old school boom bap type of beats. He's not using Metro beats and you know what I'm saying. Mike Will made it. No, he's taking it back to real hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna love this album, man.
I think you will.
I can tell I'm gonna love this album if that's what he's doing and he's taking it to that.
Yeah. No ID produced the entire album.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get back to you guys probably when we both listen to the whole album, which might be hard because Jay-Z's on that bullshit. So now I'm not sure if this is true, but you got. Well, I know you have to have Tidal, and then apparently you have to have Sprint too. Now I didn't research it that deeply, but this is what I saw. You have to have Tidal and Sprint. Otherwise, you can't really listen to the album. I don't think there's physical copies in the store or anything. It's some that's some bullshit.
It ain't bullshit to me. The man's trying to protect his brand. He wants to make money off his album, and he's trying to protect it from piracy. What's wrong with that?
Shit, there's nothing wrong with it, but no one, like most people have come to grips with the fact that the internet has changed things. It's made it difficult.
Well, obviously he didn't come to grips with it because he's starting his own thing. You know what I'm saying? And he making money off of it.
Look,
you can't be innovative thinking like everybody else.
Look, man. Most artists realize, because we gonna always want to see people in concert. That's where the money is at. Do world tours. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna always break bread. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna always make a pretty penny doing that. If that ain't good enough for you, then I don't know.
It ain't good enough for him.
And that's interesting because he's very rich, you know, as it is, and he's still looking for more. That's just the mind of a businessman. Never complacent.
Right.
Never complacent. Always looking for a way to.
That's right.
Yeah, I understand.
Don't nobody say nothing when these white people who are billionaires keep going to work every day and making more money. But when a black man does it, there's a problem. Oh, he should be content with what he has. Well, tell Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and all these other dudes that same thing.
Definitely shouldn't be content. You know, because these guys, people have to realize they have a certain lifestyle. They're not like us where they're spending this amount of, like they're spending, let's say, $2,000 a month. No, these guys are spending because they have a lavish lifestyle. They gotta keep making money. They have to keep making money to keep living that way. So that's one thing. But the other end, you know, it's always nice to continue making money because even if I have a lot of money, I don't have a lot of money at the moment. Excuse me. But I have before, and even when I have a decent amount of money at my disposal, I'm not going around spending blah blah blah, blah because you know you even if you have it, you still want to continue to make money. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, but my thing is, damn man, I'm looking. I understand where he's coming from, but I'm only looking at this from the fan perspective. We want to listen to Jay-Z, the greatest hip hop artist of all time.
Then pay for it.
We want to hear his album.
Then pay for it.
But you have to have, like, I don't even have a carrier, man. I have a government line. I have a government SIM card inside of a Galaxy S6, man. I don't even have a big carrier like Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T.
Then wait till it actually comes out. Then
it is out. What you mean? Wait till it comes out? You mean wait till you can pirate it? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying wait till you said there's no physical albums in stores, right?
I don't think there's gonna be.
Is he gonna drop an album?
Are you talking about a physical? You talking about a physical copy? I don't think so. Beyonce's Lemonade been dropped. She's on the same shit. Obviously, she's with Tidal. There's no physical copies of Lemonade either, and that album's been out.
I guess you just gonna have to get Tidal. Either get Tidal or wait till you can. I guess what you call it, pirate it.
And is that what you? Let's talk about you. I'm not gonna let you off the hook. What are you gonna do? You're a big Jay-Z fan.
I've got an Amazon account. I want to see if they're gonna drop it on Amazon first.
And you'll gladly pay for it.
Amazon, you pay for it monthly. So whenever somebody drops something on Amazon, you can just listen to it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But you can't download. Can you download?
You can download. I think you can download.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I don't really download anything. I just put it on a playlist. So whenever I want to listen to it, it's there.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's that. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, man. Just let the man make his money.
Niggas
need to stop hating. They do the same thing with Michael Jordan. Get mad at him because he charged so much for his shoes. Well, if you're not gonna protest Gucci and Versace and Prada and all these other cats for charging so much for their shoes, then don't begrudge the black man for making his money.
All right, I agree with you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Cats just don't like to see a black man doing it. That's all.
Yeah, that's BS. You know. But while we're talking about Michael Jordan, let's talk about the NBA again. You know, we hinted at it earlier. So yeah, like I said, I was wrong. I have to apologize about that. I have to admit it. You know, but yeah. So let's start with Jimmy Butler trade. What did you think about that?
That trade is bad for the Bulls.
Absolutely,
probably.
absolutely.
Depending on what they're trying to do.
I think they're tanking.
Right. But it is excellent for Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
well,
and now you're looking at a championship, not a championship, a playoff team.
Well, let's not talk about the Minnesota side of things first. Let's talk, since we are Chicagoans, right? Let's talk about the Bulls side of things.
There ain't shit to talk about.
Well, but did you think it was a bad trade though? I'm saying, how do you assess it? Is what I'm saying.
Well, the thing about Jimmy Butler is that he's not a person that you can build around. If you're looking for an individual to build around, then Jimmy Butler ain't the man.
Why is that? What about his game?
And Jimmy Butler is just good enough to the point where you're not going to be able to get any potential high draft picks or anything like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Chicago is not the market right now, especially with their reputation, that any real good free agent's going to really come over there. So they got to revamp themselves. They got to get a better reputation. They got to start doing better business. And Jimmy Butler's not the guy he's what you would be. He would be like the second best player on a championship team. That's what you would need from him.
What renders him that type of player?
I don't know.
You don't know?
He just does not have. He's just not what you would call a first tier player. He has potential to be. Maybe in a couple more years he could, but as of now, the way his game is, I just don't think that he's the guy that can get you over the hump. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So, real quick, what do you think about the concept of tanking? Do you think it's smart?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the 76ers, let's look at them. And I guess we can talk about them a little more. They started tanking buying them, that big trade, Dwight Howard to the Lakers. It was a 4-team trade. Buying them to the Sixers, Iguodala to the Nuggets. The Sixers, the Nuggets. No. I'm trying to remember all the details. Sixers, Lakers, Nuggets, Magic. The Magic, they ended up they didn't really get anything. See, they got a draft pick and it turned out to be Nikola Vucevic, who's decent. He doesn't play any defense, but he's a decent big man. So if you look at it now, years later, the Magic probably won that trade because Iguodala left the Nuggets after the first year. Dwight Howard left the Lakers after the first year. Bynum didn't even suit up for them. The Magic won the trade. That big ass trade really though came to nothing because Vucevic isn't really he's not a guy who's gonna get you not even close. He's probably your third guy. He's the best player on that squad. But I bring this up to say that trade is what fucked the Sixers up. They fucked the Lakers up too, but we're talking about the Sixers right now. The Sixers' whole organization was severed because of that trade. They've been trying to recover ever since. Do you think the way they went about things is smart? Them in particular.
You talking about right now, currently?
Yeah, currently, does it look like it's panning out?
Look at they got Embiid, they got Ben Simmons, and who's the other guy they got? They got Markelle Fultz now, right?
More big, yeah.
So that looks like that's gonna work out pretty well, man. You know what I'm saying?
It took a long time though.
But that's what happens when you rebuild. When you start to rebuild, you're looking at a 3 to 5 year plan.
Man, look, I know this is an anomaly, but I like the way the Celtics did it. Damn, they did that shit so fast. They traded KG and Pierce, and man, they recovered from that quick.
Who do they have now? Don't they have Gordon?
Yeah, they got Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, which if I was Gordon Hayward, I wouldn't have went to Miami. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they're gonna be second seed. That's what they'll be. They'll be second.
So they're gonna somehow regress to the second seed. How you figure that?
Or put it this way, they'll be first seed and just never get out of the East.
Man, didn't they say this is LeBron's 16th year coming up? I think.
Let me tell Kat something. The way this has progressed, this is a damn shame. LeBron James is gonna literally be able to swim to the finals every year.
Yep.
Every star has went to the West, man.
That's messed up.
They need to if they need to disband the East. That's what they need to do. They need to just make it one conglomerate and just do the top 8 to 10 teams and just relinquish the East, man. Because the East is garbage. Your boy Paul Millsap just left. He went to the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. The East is trash. Oh, Toronto Raptors decided to stay together. Big whoop. LeBron James is gonna have carte blanche to do whatever he wants now through the East, man.
I hear you, but it only takes one squad.
Them cats is not beating the Cavs, man.
I mean, I can agree with that.
Well, then what's the argument?
The argument is, I mean, one day LeBron's not gonna make the finals, man.
It's never gonna happen if he's playing until he would. Do you know the extent to which he would have to fall off to not the way the East is composed right now?
Right, man.
He would literally have to be a shell of himself.
Yeah, I hear you. It's hard to make the case right now, but all I have, the Celtics is my saving grace. We know the Raptors aren't going to do nothing because they just got swept.
So you think Gordon Hayward is going to make the difference?
This guy's a 20 point per game scorer. 21,
Let's see if he still has that 20 point per game score with Isaiah Thomas at point guard.
I'm glad you bring that up. We'll get back to our premise, but you predicted it, and correctly, I might add, that when Kevin Durant, now obviously Kevin Durant is on another level, but you predicted correctly that when Kevin Durant joins Golden State, he's going to take over the mantle of best player on the squad, and he did that. And I think a big reason why you said that, I would think, you'd let me know if I'm wrong, is because his size advantage over Steph Curry. Gordon Hayward has the significant size advantage over Isaiah Thomas, so why doesn't the same concept apply?
Because he's not that type of player. Gordon Hayward doesn't play big. And he is big. He's 6'8".
Right.
But he doesn't have a 6'8" type of game.
What's the 6'8" type of game? Because he shoot, the mid-range jump shot, threes.
Just overall dominance of the game. It's nothing you can really put your finger on. You just see a guy who plays big. Gordon Hayward does not play big to me. He plays like a 6'3", 6'4" guard. He plays like a shooting guard to me.
But see, the thing is, people say that about Kevin Durant all the time.
Kevin Durant plays big.
You talking about defensively?
Defensively, yes.
Well, let's talk about offense, though.
The dude releases his shot at 10 feet in the air.
Well, but I'm saying, though, people always say he has guard skills.
Yes, he has guard skills, but they're talking about handles and quickness.
The shooting touch is a factor, too.
Yeah.
Great shooter.
But there's a lot of great shooters. I mean, Paul George has guard skills, too, if you want to look at it that way. All the top small forwards have guard skills.
So you're just talking about...
I'm talking about just dominance, overall dominance of the game. And just height and being unguardable and blocks, defense, being a rim protector, stuff like that. Gordon Hayward does not play big to me. He does not play like a big guy.
So you think Isaiah Thomas is going to remain the best player on that team, basically? He's
already better than Gordon Hayward.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing, though. You say that now. You're saying he's already. Last year, in 2015-16, Steph Curry was considered better than Kevin Durant. Then Kevin Durant came on his team and showed that not to be the case.
That's a horrible example, bro.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Kevin Durant has been considered the second best player in the world for a long time, bro.
That's true. But I'm just talking about that. I said that particular year. Every other year, no. But I'm just saying, Kevin Durant. I see what you're saying, but I'm trying to prove that it's a valid question. Don't act like it's a question that shouldn't be asked.
What is the question, though? I'm not.
The question is, will Gordon Hayward come on a team and become the best player?
No.
So I'm reiterating. That's why I asked you. So Isaiah Thomas is going to remain the best player. It's the same question.
Yeah, because Isaiah Thomas is going to make sure he remains the best player. He's the point guard. It's the same thing like with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook now is going to make sure that he's the best player because he's going to make sure he gets the most touches.
Oh, yeah. You got to get on that, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but see, the thing is...
He's not a great point guard. Isaiah Thomas is a shooting guard masquerading as a point guard.
True.
You know, his passing ability is not that great. His assists are not that high.
Sure.
He is a ball stopper.
Okay. So, with that being said, you got them as what? 1 or 2 seed? Just curious.
Either one.
Okay, and are they going to the conference finals?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not saying shit, bro.
Nah, it's not.
The East is terrible.
It is.
There's nobody that's going to be able to beat the Cavs or Boston Celtics.
Well, then let's talk about it. LeBron, he's been to the finals 7 straight times, 8 total.
Yes.
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this yesterday. I was saying, like, damn, the last team to go to the Celtics, other than LeBron, is this the last team to go to the finals other than the Celtics, other than LeBron. Excuse me, fuck. The last team to go to the finals. Pardon me, y'all. I'm slipping my tongue up all of this shit. Is the Celtics, and then I was saying, what if they're the first team to go since LeBron as well? You know what I'm saying? That would be interesting.
Yeah, when LeBron leaves.
No. I'm talking about in 17, 18.
No, come on, bro. Stop being ridiculous. You know damn well they're not finna beat the Cavs, man.
Part of this is I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, well if you want to hope, I can't begrudge that. I'm just talking about reality.
Man,
they don't have enough. Gordon Hayward, what? Gordon Hayward's gonna be the difference maker.
I mean,
if he gets, I tell you what, if he gets up tomorrow and starts to hoop like Larry Bird, they got a chance. They got a heavy chance. Till he becomes Larry Bird, they don't have a chance in hell.
Hell no. He said they got to be Larry Legend in order to knock off LeBron.
Yeah.
Check this out.
See, they almost got swept. It was 4-1 in the playoffs, right?
Sure.
So what is Gordon Hayward going to do? Make them win now?
Think about it like this. They were the number 1 seed over LeBron's team this past season.
Didn't you say they were tanking on purpose?
Hey, that's besides the point.
How is that besides the point?
I'm going to tell you how it's besides the point. Because if they were so head and shoulders above everyone else, tanking a couple of games at the end of the season shouldn't have made the difference. You should have been way above where it was too late to do that.
Man, the Cavs didn't care about the regular season, man. That's why they did what they did. They played, in all regards, for all intents and purposes, they played bad during the regular season. And they still was held the first seed.
Yeah, they did for a long time.
So it's like, just think if they were really trying. Think like if they were playing like how they played in Game 4 and 5 of the finals all year. Are the Celtics anywhere close to them?
Well, no, but I'm just trying to make you can make it real simple. And I'm trying to have fun with the subject, and you're poking holes in it successfully. But goddamn it, let me live here. They were the number 1. They were the number 1 seed.
What do you want me to do, bro? No. I can't concede to this reality. It's doing nothing for me because I know it's not.
It's doing nothing for you because you're a LeBron fan. God damn it.
It's not even the fact that I'm a LeBron fan. I don't even like LeBron as much as I used to. What it is just I'm a realist. There's nobody in the East, and what they did to the East this year, they've decimated it. They've made it a cakewalk for LeBron for the next 5 years, man.
Damn, 5 years?
Well, unless they get somebody that wants to go. Chris Broussard was talking about this on Undisputed.
Okay.
Not Undisputed. I'm sorry, on Colin Coward. And they were asking, well, why is it that so many stars are not going to the East? And Chris Broussard said because the East, the teams are not very well managed. You know what I'm saying? The Golden State Warriors are managed very well. The Spurs are managed very well. You know what I'm saying? The Heat.
Not the Heat. They're in the East though.
Not the Heat, but the Houston is managed very well. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to go there.
I don't know. Regardless of the reasons, I wish they would put that aside and just come to. I wish we could have got Chris Paul if he was gonna go somewhere. We need to get on that too.
Why the hell did you mention the East, the Heat, and you know they're in the East, man?
Because I was trying to show you that there are teams that you could go to.
That's one team.
Yeah.
That is one freaking team. The Cavs aren't even managed very well. They're forcing themselves to be managed well because they got LeBron.
Right.
But that was the reason why he left them in the first place.
I mean, the Celtics and Gordon Hayward did go to the Celtics. If you look at how fast they were able to rebuild after that big three of Allen, Garnett, and Pierce, the way they was able to rebuild and come back so quickly, that shows good management.
I have no idea why Gordon Hayward went to the Celtics. Personally, I would have went to the Heat. Better weather, better everything. Miami, come on.
Well, I
didn't understand why he did that. Then he would have had an equivalent team because he would have been going to a team that has a point guard in Goran Dragic who's more willing to share the ball. You have your Rudy Gobert and Hassan Whiteside over there. You have Justice Winslow. You know what I'm saying? You got Deion Waiters. You got a good, solid team over there that could have done you justice, man. And you would have had a better chance on the Heat going up against LeBron and them than on the Celtics.
I don't know about
Hassan
that.
Whiteside can give you 20 and 10, bro. Who on Boston Celtics is giving you 20 and 10?
Not a soul.
Not a soul.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's Hassan Whiteside. I don't know about that 20. Is he averaging? He ain't averaging no 20. You talking about averaging, right?
I say he can give you 20 and 10.
Oh, well, anyway, yeah, Al Horford could give you that for a game here and there.
But Hassan Whiteside consistently gives you 20 and 10. He's a 20 and 10 threat. He's a double threat. You know what I'm saying? I mean a high double threat. I don't mean 10 and 10. I mean a high double threat. You know. And his defense is leaps and bounds over Al Horford. So, hey, I mean, come on.
You could be right. I don't know.
You know Hassan Whiteside.
No, I'm talking about the Celtics and Heat thing, where he should have went. No, obviously Hassan Whiteside is better.
And then you got Goran Dragic who would share the ball.
Man, I don't look. I watched.
He's a beast too.
He's a beast. I was gonna say I watched them. I watched the Heat play the Suns, and look, Goran, he had to do everything. I think Hassan Whiteside was out that game. Deion Waiters, he had to do everything. Goran Dragic, I didn't see the passing, but he's a beast, man. He can really score the ball. He's a good finisher. He's a good shooter from the mid range. He's a three. He's really good.
Yeah. And you could have joined that. You could have made a double white, double-headed white monster right there.
Right.
That'd have been raw to see two white guys on the team go through motherfuckers. That'd have been straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward, man, he would have done well on Miami. Yeah. So, hey, maybe he saw something in Boston that I don't. But
right, maybe. Okay, well, so I guess I shouldn't look forward to the LeBron finally getting knocked off. Oh, and you know what? I didn't finish what I was gonna say though. I was saying like it was just crazy how since the Celtics, so after that LeBron went to Miami. He goes to Miami, goes to the finals 4 straight times, right? Then he goes to a completely different team, completely different roster. Save Mike Miller at first, and then James Jones the entire time. James Jones been there the whole time with him in Cleveland. But, he doesn't even play, though. Completely different roster. He proceeds to make the finals 3 more times and counting. That's phenomenal, man. But it's to me it's annoying, and like I'm getting jaded. And as an NBA fan, I don't want to see the Warriors either. But LeBron is worse because I've had to see him 7 straight times.
Oh, I'd love to see the Warriors. I'm not done watching him.
I'd rather see them. Like, if you're gonna pick one of those teams from these past 3 finals, yes, I'm gonna pick the Warriors. I'd rather see them again. But honestly, I don't want to see them again either. I just want some fresh blood. But if it's Warriors and let's say Wizards break through, let's say the Wizards break through and
listen, I want to say something. Parity is overrated.
Nah.
Okay. Parity is overrated. They were talking about there was a time in basketball, I think it was in the 70s, in the late 70s, I think from 75 to, no, I can't remember, but I know it was in the 70s, where 8 different teams won the championship. It was one of the lowest watched eras in all of basketball. People were just not fucking with basketball like that. People want a storyline. People want a rivalry. People want to see their favorite players play in the end, in the finals and stuff. This is what people want. You know what I'm saying? So, if you don't have LeBron playing in the finals and you don't have Golden State or the Spurs or something like that, what 2 teams from the West and from the East do you want to see compete in the finals?
Well, this is a general conversation here. You know, I just want to see different teams. But if you want to talk about the current composition and who I would want to see based off of that, I would sit there and say I'd want to see. Give me Golden State. I'll take Golden State.
Okay, so already we're at the same team that we had
but
the past 2-3 years.
I'm not trying to make a good argument right now. I'm just talking about what I would take Golden State again. But if you want me to give you a team that works, it's just not as good as that. Then I'll take Houston in Washington in the finals.
That would be one of the lowest watched games in the finals. Don't nobody want to see Houston and Washington. Nobody want to see that.
Please, man.
Nobody wants to see that. I swear that the ratings are not going to be high.
Chris Paul, John Wall.
Nobody's going to want to see Chris Paul and John Wall.
James Harden, Bradley Beal.
Nobody's going to want to see James Harden, Bradley Beal.
Man.
Nobody's going to want to see that, man. Nobody wants to see James Harden go up against Bradley Beal. That's not even equal playing.
Nobody. Okay,
that's like
you right now. You're trying to make your argument. Does nobody want to see John Wall versus Chris Paul? I would put it like that.
Nobody wants to see that either.
Okay. They're similar. They have similar playing styles.
Nobody wants to see it though.
It's like,
and that's the problem. They have similar playing styles. Nobody wants to see them go against each other. In the finals, in the playoffs, that's one thing. But the finals to see who's going to be the championship, nobody wants to see that shit, man. It's not climactic enough.
I don't agree. No, actually, I can't disagree because I can't speak for everyone else. I want to see it. I want to see it.
I wouldn't even watch that. It would not interest me.
That's crazy.
I would watch them in the playoffs to see who would emerge victorious and go against somebody else. But those 2 teams, that's it.
In a parallel universe where they play in the same conference, that is, right? Yeah.
I want to see that.
Look, man, I don't know. I don't think parity. I can't explain why the ratings were so low back when they had more parity in the NBA. I don't think it had to do with the parity. I think it was just.
Well, this is what was being said. They were saying it was the parity.
That's crazy. I have to look into that.
Because you had so many different teams winning the championships, people lost interest.
But
people wanted to see the same team go up against another team. They wanted to see in other words, they wanted to see their heroes play on the biggest stage.
People who talk about the NFL, one of the things they always say is the fact they have parity, and way more in the NBA than in the NBA. 2
different games.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It matters very much. It's 2 totally different games. Can't compare them.
Well, people do it.
So. They shouldn't. It's 2 different. It's a totally different structure.
I would say that's one of the things the NFL definitely has over the NBA.
It's like trying to compare Tom Brady to LeBron James. They say, well, LeBron James had it easy going through the Eastern Conference. That's why he got to the finals every year. They say Tom Brady has his division is easy. That's why he makes it out his division every year. Two totally different things. You can't compare the two. The reason why you can't compare the two because it's a totally different structure. Tom Brady has had so many different receivers go in and out of his team that for him to even be able to get out of his division, even though his division is not that rough, who he's throwing to and how he's able to make each of his receivers star receivers when they play with him, that's just phenomenal. There's nothing you can, you know what I'm saying? Just totally different structure. You can't compare the two. Football's a much rougher sport. There are more guys that can get injured. Whether the team is garbage that you're playing or not, one hit from a 300-pound motherfucker colliding into you can be a wrap for you. So you just can't compare the two.
None of the stuff you said addresses the parity. It addresses the reason why there's more parity in the NFL.
I just addressed it because there's so many different factors that there's going to be parity. There's not going to be the same team unless you're just elite like the New England Patriots. See how world they are.
Yeah, and even they.
That's why Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and Rob Kraft is the best, probably one of the best organizations ever to play football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they're probably going to end up in the Super Bowl again next year. For some of the moves they made. But that's what makes them so great. But for the most part, bro, you're going to have... And then you don't always have parity with football either. I mean, look at Buffalo Bills. I think they went to the Super Bowl like 4 or 5 straight times.
Are we talking about the 90s?
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The Seahawks went 2.
Man, look.
Peyton Manning went. The Broncos went 2, 3 times, something like that. So you don't always have parity in NFL either.
You don't have the same. First of all, you that thing in the 90s. That's actually really bad. That's actually bad when it comes to parity. But that was then. We can't talk about it then. Otherwise, we need to talk about there's parity in the NBA now because 8 different teams won a championship in the 70s. No, you can't do that. We're talking about now.
I just gave you some recent ones.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
did I not just give you like 3 or 4 recent ones?
Your strongest one was old. Your strongest one was old.
I said New England Patriots. That's not old. I said the Broncos. That's not old.
They haven't won 2 in a row.
But they were there. It doesn't matter. They played. I said the Broncos. That's not old. I said the Seahawks. That's not old. You just went right over there and went back to the 90s.
Your strongest. I debunked your strongest one. All right, that's all I was doing.
How can you debunk it and it happened?
No, I'm debunking you using that to boast your argument. It doesn't do it because that was then.
Are you gonna? Are you going to address what I said, the other ones, or are you going to keep going back to that shit?
Because the reason why I haven't done it is because you said
can't
something.
do it. That's why, folks.
No,
because there's nothing for him to say.
I haven't
so
done
he
it yet.
wants to go to what he thinks is a weak argument, even though in the 90s it happened like 4 or 5 times. Okay.
If you would
now
stop
there's only 10 years in the decade. So if the Buffalo Bills went 4 or 5 times, that's 4 or 5 out of the years in the 90s. That's still bad, whether it was in the 90s or not.
Yeah, it's bad, but it's not applicable to now.
What about the others I said?
The other ones are not nearly... The Patriots, see, it's not nearly as bad with the...
The Patriots have won 5.
Yeah, but it's been spread over a fucking decade.
It hasn't been spread that much, bro.
Man.
Not really. It hasn't really been spread all that much.
Because
Tom Brady, I think, won his first one in, like, what was it, 2001?
Right.
Something like that.
So 5. So your first one you won in 01. It hasn't
really been spread all that much. I mean, we're talking about relative here. In sports, 10 years is not a long time. Okay? That's not a long time.
But we're talking about...
If you're talking about in actual relative sports, the White Sox won a title recently.
Sure.
They won it within the last, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, 15.
Okay. So it's not it's not a long time ago. The White Sox recently won a championship. If you're going to look at it, in sports,
baseball's been around a long time, so I would say since the 1800s. So yeah.
Well, so has basketball.
Basketball has
been around a long time.
No, it hasn't been around as long. The NBA was created in 1947.
Yeah, but
it's
MLB still a long ass time.
Well, I'm saying I'm trying to help you out. I'm saying that the baseball thing is accurate. Like you're saying, to say they won in 2005, that is recent when you look at the totality of how long.
Yeah, over 100 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So yeah, I see what you're saying, but the NFL, I'm not saying it has 100% parity where every team is. That's the thing. I'm not saying that it has more than the NBA. You can't debate that. That's what I'm saying. It has more parity than the NBA. It has a sufficient amount of parity.
That's fine, but it's still a different structure, though.
Man, listen.
It's a different structure. You just can't compare the NFL to the NBA, man.
You're acting like I'm comparing. Like, I agree with you saying you can't compare.
I'm saying that in basketball, the lack of parity is overrated. I'm not talking about in any other sport. I'm talking about basketball.
Why can't I talk about parity as a whole? I think
parity in all sports is good.
Parity in all sports is good.
I mean, to you, but obviously the general public doesn't feel that way. And I'm with the general public on this one because there's a lot of teams that I just would not want to see in the finals. They're good as a build up, as a build up to a climax, but they're not what I want to see at the very apex. No.
Well, to each his own, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just they're not good enough for me to want to see them in the finals.
See, the thing is, your guy, your YouTuber guy, Chronicles of Judah, right? He said something that I thought was interesting. He said that all teams in the NBA today play a similar style.
Absolutely.
So shit, what's the difference in seeing the Wizards and
That's like asking what's the difference between seeing Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook.
No, it's not, because they play totally different.
He says they play the same.
That's not true.
Well, that's what he said. He said Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook basically play the same game.
See,
now when he's saying that, he's not talking about. What he's talking about is the fact that they both use screen pick and rolls. You know what I'm saying? They both want to be the one to take the ball to the hole or to shoot. They're shoot first. They're not pass first players. And they want a screen, a pick and roll to run off of, so to get them open so that they can either take it to the hole or to shoot. That's what he's talking about. They all play the same.
But that's not enough.
There are not that many John Stockton point guards in the league. You dig?
Really, just the only one guy like that is Ricky Rubio.
Exactly.
And he's a poor man's version of that.
So that's what he means by everybody plays the same.
But okay, they have similar qualities, but that's not what you just said is not enough to make that general remark that it's like saying no, they don't play that similar to where you could just say that.
They really do. All of these point guards all play the same type of ball. Kyle Lowry, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, all these cats play the same type of ball. So it's just varying degrees of athleticism.
Who launches 800 plus threes a season besides Steph Curry? I'm just asking. I think
you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying
that's they're
different.
all shoot first point guards.
That's not enough.
Who run off screens and set pick and rolls. Everybody does the same thing.
That's not enough to make
it is enough.
It's not enough to make the general mark that they play.
You don't understand what he's saying. But
no, I don't agree.
Okay.
I don't agree with what he's saying. I don't agree with you agreeing with it.
Well, that's what he meant, and I agree.
Okay, I agree that they have that in common, but that's not enough to say that means they play 35% the same way.
Yeah, I'm saying they all play the same type of ball. One may shoot more from the 3-point range. One may take it in more. But if you look at the style of ball, it's the same.
That's part of the way how you score your points is part of.
It's like Michael. Style. It's like I don't understand how to get this dude to understand simple shit. Let me see if I can put it in another word. You had a whole bunch of Michael Jordan clones that came after Michael Jordan, right? They all played the same style of ball. Now, some were of varying degrees as far as ability, athleticism, and stuff like that. But they all played the same style. You dig? Back in the 90s, you had guys that played all different types of ball. In the 80s, different types of ball. They didn't all play the same style. Okay? You could not compare Larry Bird to Magic Johnson. Two different styles of ball. Okay? But you can compare Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter. Same style of ball.
I can't speak on them because I didn't watch, but I watched Steph Curry and Westbrook. They're two different. Just because they have a few. See, what I don't like is because I don't agree with this bullshit you're saying, that means I don't understand. You've been doing that for years. Knock that shit off. I just don't agree. It's not that I don't understand.
Well, if you understood, you would agree.
No, that's not true. That's not true. They don't play
If
the
you
same.
understood what I'm saying, then
That's
you
not-
would
that's
have
not
to
true.
agree. They
That's
play
not-
the
that's-
same
that's
style of
not
ball.
True. One guy does all these fancy dribble moves and, you know, really flashy with his game. Flashy, you know, sheet launches from you know, in between the 3-point line and the half court line from consistently. You know, one guy is a way better finisher and way better shooter. The other guy, you know, plays a style where he's a do it all type of player. He gets the rebounds.
They're all shooting guards masquerading as point guards. Bro.
Okay,
all that shit you talking about is
that's part of their style.
A particular set of skills. I'm not talking about a particular set of skills. I'm talking about style. They all shoot first, pass later. It's all the same type of style. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about their skill set. Steph Curry is a much better three-point shooter than Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is way more athletic than Steph Curry. But it's the same style of ball because neither one are looking to pass like that.
Well, then you should say maybe they're the same style of point guard or something. Then, you know, or something like that. Then I could get behind it a little more. But whatever. Let's get back to the premise here because this is really not even pertinent. So I think parity would be great for the NBA, but it would have to. I guess it would have to depend on who's going to the finals. You know, if you could have a world where you got good teams going, because if you look at the West, they always had good teams. You know, there was one year not too long ago where every team 1 through 8 won 50+ games.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of those teams, they could have went to the finals and it would have been a good finals. If you could, now obviously you can't have one team doing that. You have to be a little more level in the other conference. If you could have it where you got both conferences and you got 5 contenders per conference, right? And then you got them facing off. You got them all facing off in different years. That's ideal. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be great. Now, if you want to look at how it is currently, yeah, personally, and what I just said earlier, I feel like everyone should agree with this. Now, this is just my opinion here, where I don't care if you agree or not. I would like to see, like I said, a good matchup would be Rockets, Wizards. You could throw Celtics, Spurs. That would be interesting. You don't have to see Cavs, Warriors every fucking year. No, I don't want to see that
Celtics,
shit.
Spurs will not be interesting.
It would be to me.
Because the Spurs will beat the shit out of the Celtics.
Maybe so.
So how is that interesting?
But what if it goes?
If the Spurs swept the Celtics, how would that be interesting?
I don't think they would sweep them though. I think
who? Okay.
Celtics. I think they would win in 6. I think the Spurs will win in 6.
The Spurs will win in 5. There's no at most. There's no way that the Boston Celtics are beating the Spurs more than once.
Yeah, maybe. But it would be better than seeing the same team every year.
Not really.
That's the thing. Cavs,
just
Warriors,
to see a different team and see the team get their ass beat is it doesn't do it for me. I'd rather see the same guys, but it have it be a competitive match than see different guys and one's just beating up on the other one.
Well, if that's the case, we don't need to see Cavs Warriors again because we know they're going to get their ass whooped again.
It depends on what happens. And I already specifically said I did not want to see the Cavs and Warriors again.
You did.
Okay. But it depends on what happens because if the Cavs make some interesting moves and add another dude, for instance, let's say they got rid of Kevin Love and got Carmelo Anthony. Now I would want to see the Cavs and Warriors. So it just depends on what happens.
Man, they need to sign. They need defensive help. They need to sign Tony Allen or some shit. I don't know how good he is still defensively, but I don't know about.
They need a superstar, man. You're right. They do need a defensive player, but right now they need to be focused on getting another superstar.
So instead of, you think they should prioritize becoming this offensive juggernaut instead of, which could work, you know.
They can't really get anybody. They're way above the cap space as it is.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they're screwed. This is why LeBron James has to leave the Cavs. He's going to be doomed to keep going to the finals and keep getting his ass kicked.
Yep. That's the thing, man. Kevin Durant, man, he really did a number on the league.
Man, don't blame Kevin Durant. That's these puss-ass niggas not wanting to go to the East. They don't want that boogeyman.
You say that, but I think the Warriors are the boogeymen of the league, not fucking LeBron. Fuck.
Yeah, but no, the boogeyman is the East because everybody's running to the West.
Nah,
you don't run towards the boogeyman; you run away from him. So you calling him the boogeyman, but everybody's going to their side. How much of a boogeyman are you?
Butler was traded. Paul George was traded. Paul Millsap is the only one who willingly went over there, and that nigga went for the money. Clearly,
this nigga talking about this year. You see what I'm saying, guys? Single-mindedness.
No, I can talk.
What about the past few years?
I can talk about other years. Give me an example.
Every year that LeBron James has been on the East and been terrorizing shit. So pretty much since his Miami days.
I would say they were terrorizing. Like I always say, like the Heat to me, they struck me more as a great team. The Cavs, to me, are just like I don't know. I think it's their big three. They're good, but I don't think that was an ideal mix from the jump. They don't strike me as a great team. The Heat more so did. You know, it was just something about them. I think the fact they had shooters off the bench. East. No. I don't know. People have had chances to come to the East, bro. This ain't the only year where people have had chances to come to the East and make a team in the East. Even Kevin Durant, he could have came to the East if he wanted to. That nigga was
Cats
not scared of LeBron.
are scared of LeBron James. You say he's not scared of LeBron.
He just whooped LeBron's ass. You know,
he just whooped it this year.
But I'm saying, he if he was scared of LeBron, he could have showed it there. He didn't wilt beneath the pressure or anything like that, or wilt. He
could have went to another team in the East.
He could have.
And really showed he wasn't scared of LeBron. Because he would have had to face LeBron to get to the finals. It's one thing to face him in the finals. You don't have no choice but to go up against him then. Go to the East and then face him before the finals. Beat him to get to the finals. Prevent him from playing in the finals. That's what you do. Now I got the utmost respect for Kevin, and I've defended him when others were going at his head. But you're not gonna sit there and tell me that he wasn't afraid of LeBron.
Did he look afraid in the 2012 finals? The 2012 finals.
Didn't he lose?
He lost. But did he look afraid though? That's all I'm asking you.
Oh, I don't know about that. I didn't even really watch the 2012
I watched it,
finals, right?
but it was a while ago. I know his numbers. He averaged 30 on 50% shooting. I mean, he didn't choke, man. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if the reason he didn't go is because he was scared. That's all I'm saying.
Scared, man. Just because you're scared don't mean you choke. You don't have to choke to be scared. It just means you don't want to face him under the specific situation that you're in again. You don't want to face him in OKC, being under OKC's banner again. You want a team that you think will actually be able to best him. In a conference that you feel you'll actually be able to best him in because that team was in that conference. If Golden State Warriors was in the East, then I'm sure he would have, then he would have went to the because that team, Yeah. But I guess he didn't see any other Eastern team being good enough. Yeah. That's because of LeBron, bro. Period. He didn't even think he would get out of his conference if he joined the East.
But my thing is it? I'm questioning what you're saying. Is that the reason why he didn't go over there, or is it because he just thought the Golden State gave him the best chance to win a championship?
I mean, I think it's the same thing. If he thought that Golden State would give him the better chance, it's the same as in the West. It's the same as him not wanting to face him in the East.
But it's a little different because you're trying to create this narrative that he was afraid of LeBron. That's kind of disrespectful if you think about it. That's disrespectful to say that Kevin Durant.
But LeBron James kind of owned him the last time they played in 2012. Now, albeit he scored a lot of points, but it ain't about that. It's about what you do psychologically to a person when you beat them, when they can't stop you.
Man, look.
No matter what you do, that could actually sometimes make it worse. You drop 30 and you can't even get past them. That could psychologically make you be like, man, what do I have to do to get past this person?
That would make me think I just need a better team around me.
Hence, I can't do it with the team I'm on. hence him leaving and going to Golden State.
But you don't have to go to Golden State. But that's another subject.
If he can't do it with OKC, who was one of the top 4 teams in the league, who else is he going to go to the East that's going to do it?
Well, see, here's the thing. You're talking about going up against the Heat. That was a different animal, in my opinion. He could have beat the Cavs, though. This current Cavs team, he could have beat them in 2012.
Right, but he didn't even get to them this time.
Well,
he didn't even get to them this time.
Well, because he had Golden State in his way. Golden
also
State.
because he had Russell Westbrook in his way.
That's a good comeback. I mean, that was a nice pun, but I don't know. I think they could get it done. I think they could have got it done. I do, but I'm not gonna sit here and hold them to that and say you should have stayed with OKC. I've never said that. I've said repeatedly, you don't have to go to Golden State to win. Or because even if you can't beat them, they weren't gonna be good forever. If you have to, wait until their time is done. Or maybe they would regress. Who knows?
How long is this man supposed to wait, bro? You saying wait till their time is done? We don't know when the Cavs' time is done. That's who you're talking about, right? The Cavs?
I was actually talking about the Warriors.
Wait till the Warriors. They're all below 30. You crazy as hell, man.
Going to Golden State wasn't like all those guys that won championships, joining or they didn't win championships in the 90s, right? They didn't say, "Well, fuck it, let me go join the Bulls if I can. I'll take the vets minimum to go." Fuck that shit.
A lot of times they couldn't. They didn't have the power of free agency in that way like they do now. A lot of those cats couldn't. They didn't have the power to be even able to do that.
I understand I thought that was more in the 80s when they didn't have that. I thought once the mid 90s.
They didn't have the type of power to build a team like LeBron did in Miami.
Then why is it, Charles Barkley seemed to do it just fine when he joined Hakeem Olajuwon.
You talking about when they were all old and decided to join up?
Man,
that was the very end of his career, dude. That happened with Karl Malone. If that's the case, that happened with Karl Malone and Gary Payton with the Lakers.
Well, see, that was recent enough where I'm talking about the free agency thing. You said that they didn't have that freedom. I don't agree. I don't think that's true.
No, what I'm saying is they didn't have the type of power that players have now. Is what I'm saying. And they probably still wouldn't have done it. Their mentality was different. But that was then, though. I'm not gonna be comparing them to
man. Look, it's different now, but it's for the worse. People want to say it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same for the worse.
There's nothing wrong with building a super team, and you're acting like super teams were not in existence for the longest.
I'm okay with super teams. I'm not okay with a superstar joining an already constructed super team.
What difference does it make?
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with you creating your own super team. Like I said, if he could have created his own super team with.
What difference does it make? That'd have been awesome. If Magic left the Lakers and joined the Celtics.
See, no, that's shit.
That would have been amazing.
Nah, that'd have been a bitch.
That would have been amazing. That would have been a fucking Larry Bird and Magic on the same team.
They would have terrorized the league.
Exactly. And that'd have been amazing. That'd have been.
Nah, see, I don't like that kind of dominance where they don't have no comp. If you're dominating, you actually have real comp.
What
that's
you
fine.
do is get your comp up. It's not for them to worry about. That's like you go to the gym to learn boxing, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to learn boxing because I might beat up the next dude who has it.
Come on, man.
Why worry about what the next man's doing?
Those extreme,
you know what I'm saying? It's not an extreme. I'm not gonna worry about what the next man's doing. If he doesn't have what I have, that's too bad for him.
So that means it's okay to beat up a 13-year-old. Because hey, he doesn't have the.
Now that's an extremity. Because why would I beat up a 13-year-old?
Yeah, because that's bullying. You know that's not right.
But these are all grown men.
Oh, come on.
They're all grown men. So what you do, bro, is if you think that the comp that was just put together is too much, then you go and you get yourself to where you need to be that you can compete.
It's the fact that what he did is unprecedented. Like, and there's a reason why it hasn't been done before because.
So Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan might have had to join up.
No, man.
Okay? And there was Kareem on the, you know, so Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar might have had to join up to go against Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Robert Parrish and them. That would have been amazing, and you can't say it wouldn't have. That would have been amazing.
But see, the thing is, no other team I don't see is gonna be able to do the same. I mean, maybe, but even if they do, I don't want to see two super teams either. Because what about
what?
I don't want to see two super teams either.
People was hoping to see the Cavs versus Golden State.
I want to see, if possible, 7-8 super teams.
What do you mean you don't want to see? So you didn't like the Celtics versus Lakers back in the 80s?
I didn't watch it. You
don't think you would have liked that? Those were two super teams.
But see, again, they never went 3 years in a row. It's like...
No, that's not what you said, bro. You said you don't want to see two super teams go at it in the finals.
Multiple times over and over and over.
Okay, now we're adding that because that ain't what you said.
That's what I meant.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, I can seeing two super teams, yeah. But I don't want to see them over and over and over, no.
So you wouldn't have liked it in the 80s then?
They never... But
they saw them over and over and over again. Now, maybe it might have not been as much back-to-back, but it was over and over and over again.
I don't even think they went 2 years in a row, the Celtics and the Lakers.
That's fine, but they saw each other.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That's fine. That's fine with me, too. I would be okay with that. I'm not okay with happening right now.
How many times did they see each other? I can't remember.
That's a good question.
How many times did they meet each other? I know it was a lot.
At least 7 or 8.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But see, that's a lot, man. But if you, I always say to prove that I mean this. If I could get 1 year from LeBron where he's not in the finals, that might refresh my LeBron tolerance. Like, it would rejuvenate it. Right now, like, I'm jaded, and all it takes, I think 1 year or 2 would be great. But if I could just get 1 year, a 1 year hiatus from LeBron in the finals, then I might be down to 0% where I can take it again.
Yeah, it's just not that serious to me.
Man,
there's nobody else coming out of the East that I want to see.
Well, that's you, man.
That's everybody. Who else? Especially now. Who else does anybody? And I know you said the fucking Washington Wizards with 1 star. That's not who I want to see coming out of the East. Now, had Chris Bosh stayed playing with Miami, I would have liked to see that. That would have been interesting to see. If Chris Bosh hadn't got his medical condition and was able to stay playing for Miami.
You talking like they'd have been good enough to be in that conversation.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
You would have Hassan Whiteside. You would have Chris Bosh. Hell. Because wasn't Dwayne Wade still playing at that time?
Oh, see, I didn't know we were factoring in him.
Well, yeah. But even if you take him out and you got Dion Waiters, you know what I'm saying? Goran Dragic, that would have been a hell of a team. And maybe add one more piece. You add maybe one more piece, like let's say a Gordon Hayward or something. Yeah, they could have gave it to him. Yes, they could have gave it to him. Definitely.
I don't know. So I guess you're disproving something I kind of thought. You know, I haven't explicitly said it, but I feel like you're the mindset. Oh, it's LeBron or bust. That's if you don't feel that way, that's great.
LeBron or bust as far as what? You got to put that in context. What are you talking about?
To the finals, like the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, especially now.
The Eastern Conference representative for the finals.
Yeah, definitely. Especially now. No question about it.
No, but you saying now, but are there certain circumstances that could be in place to make you be like, well, okay.
No, there never. There is. The East is weak, bro. There's nobody else in the East that I would want to see come out.
No, I'm not talking about how it is. I'm saying like if there are certain teams that could come together in the East, would you rather? Do you think there are certain teams that you would rather see than LeBron if they were to hypothetically come together?
What do you mean come together?
Like,
give me an instance of what you're talking about. An example.
If Kevin Durant went to the Wizards, and then you throw in,
that'd be great.
If you want, throw in Jamal Crawford off the bench or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
You'd rather? Yeah, would you rather see that instead of LeBron, or you would just about the same amount, or that would definitely be okay, right?
Well, it'd definitely be okay. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that. That'd be awesome.
Just out of curiosity, this isn't really that important, but how much would you rather see them, or would you rather see them over LeBron, or what? Just curious.
Well, seeing as LeBron has been there so many times, I would love to see Washington with Kevin Durant on it.
Yeah, that would be all. See, so let me ask you this. Obviously, you prioritize seeing a good finals more than, not seeing the same guy over and over. But how much is that a factor for you? Like seeing LeBron over and over and over. Like I know you deal with.
He always puts on a good show, man.
So you but do you prefer to not see him?
No.
I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to get you to see what I'm asking you here. Is that a factor for you at all? I'm tired of seeing LeBron, kind of.
No.
Not at all. Okay, we'll leave it.
Not really, no, because he plays so well, and he's the best player in the world. I would expect to see him.
Okay.
How do you not expect to see the best player in the world, bro?
Well, if he's the best, if I'm supposed
Michael was the best player in the world. We saw him.
Well, if you put it like that,
Kobe was the best player in the world. We saw him, did we not?
We've seen LeBron enough.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, when it's the best player in the world, we see them. And if we don't know who quite the best player in the world is, we see the two candidates. You know what I'm saying? That's what we see.
Yeah. Well, personally, 7 years in a row is a bit much for me, but I'm ready to move on because we didn't spend too much time on the subject. We have other things we need to discuss. How do you like OKC's chances to make noise in the West?
Oh, they're gonna make noise, and I thought Paul George was the perfect star to add with Russell Westbrook. I thought that was awesome, man. Because now you've given Paul George. Now remember where I said they're gonna have to give them at least another superstar or a top star player in order for him to do something.
Yeah,
that's what they did in Paul George, and who they gave up for him was just what an amazing trade.
Man, all these trades, the Boogie trade, let's not forget Jimmy Butler, this trade with Paul George. All these.
Where's Boogie at?
New Orleans.
Oh yeah. Okay, I thought you were saying they traded him again. I didn't hear that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, all these big time players getting traded, and they're always swindling the goddamn team they're trading with.
See, so it ain't just about LeBron no more.
Oh, come on, man.
Remember, you said it always seems to happen for LeBron. No, you see lopsided trades all the time, bro.
Dude, are you kidding me? Do I have to explain why that doesn't work? Or you can figure it out?
No, you're gonna have to explain this because you said that you made it sound like LeBron is the only person that gets that.
It keeps happening for LeBron. That's the thing. Are these other teams gonna keep getting these trades in their favor? No. It happened one time and that's it. For LeBron, Channing Frye, Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith, and Mon Shumpert. And then, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. So it keeps happening for LeBron. That's the difference.
Man, they talking about getting rid of J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert if they could.
I didn't hear nothing about no J.R. Smith. I heard Iman Shumpert getting traded somewhere. I haven't heard J.R. Smith, and that's the starter.
And if they haven't, they need to. But
J.R. Smith is a sharp shooter, man. And you know,
when he decides to shoot, he is.
And
the problem is he never decides to damn near.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But Paul George, and that gives him his outside shooting presence. That gives him the guy that can keep things afloat when he goes on the bench. Because let's be real. The only reason, you know what I'm saying, why they would ever lose a lot of the games they did was because the bench gave up the lead and stuff like that. So now that's a threat he doesn't really too much have to worry about. So that's a great addition.
Right. Do you feel like they have enough depth? Because what do you think they can do? Do you think they can get to the conference finals and see the world?
It'll be about 4th seed.
4th seed, but that's what they did last year, ain't it? Yeah.
Last year?
Well, this past season, that's what they did.
I thought they went to the 6th seed.
Damn. Hold on.
OKC went to 6th seed, man.
Oh, they sure did. Damn, I don't know why I thought they did the 4th seed. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the Jazz and the Clippers that quick. Fuck, I'm tripping. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the 4th seed, I can see that, and that would be a second round exit. So that's the thing. At the end of the day, it really doesn't. It moves them some, but it doesn't move them enough where they change the dynamic of the league.
No, they need a few more role players for that.
Right.
You know, they need some more. Well, let's see. They got if McDermott and what's that other white boy name? If they can really shoot, get their shooting percentage up, they might have a chance to get to the conference final.
Okay.
know. But I'm not gonna bet that.
Right. Hell no. Okay. The Chris Paul deal. What did you think about that?
I just thought it was extremely stupid. I don't know what Chris Paul is thinking. I don't know what's on his mind. Maybe they told him that some stuff was gonna happen that we don't know about. But this makes zero sense to me.
Explain why.
James Harden was a good enough point guard as it is. They did not have to get Chris Paul. Why would you go down in your point guard?
Right.
That's a regression, not a progression. So what are you gonna do? Bump James Harden back up to a shooting guard now? Chris Paul doesn't even fit Mike D'Antoni's system. With Mike D'Antoni, you know what I'm saying? The way his system is that he wants his team to shoot quickly.
Yeah.
Within a few seconds. That's not Chris Paul's game.
Yeah, they always said 7 seconds or less. That's Mike D'Antoni.
So now what? You're gonna force Chris Paul to be more of a shooter now, a spot up shooter or something? Like, I just don't understand where this is going. It makes no sense.
So yeah, that's the thing. Patrick Beverly, he was the point. If you're gonna start him, because sometimes they started Beverly, and then other times they started Gordon. But if you're gonna start Beverly, he's more of a guy who James Harden can just kick it to and just shoot. Because Patrick Beverly is a good shooter. You know, that's not Chris Paul's game, like you said. So I can agree. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe Mike D'Antoni has the ability to adjust his schemes where he could kind of mesh him in or whatever. But yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. So my thing is, you're not beating gold. Like, you want to leave LA, and I know Chris Paul, man. I can tell he's competitive as hell. Like, he's really competitive. You know, and he's like, he saw, like, this has been 6 years, man. We get to get to the conference finals. This ain't working. I get that. But that, to me, wasn't the move to make. You know, if you were going to move, you should either went to San Antonio or for sentimentality, shit, man, go to the Pelicans and see what you can make happen with those guys.
That would have even been better.
But those Houston Rockets, please.
Yeah, for you to, and why would you not go to the Spurs? That's my question.
I have no idea why he didn't go to the Spurs. I think he didn't want to take. See, I just talk about how competitive he is, and it doesn't negate that or anything. But he didn't want to win bad enough where he's going to take a significantly less. Because I don't know how much cap space the Spurs had. If I'm not mistaken, I read something that said they would have had to really create room for him. So I don't know what I don't know why he didn't go to San Antonio. Like, we were hearing about that, and then once it was actually time for that to maybe take place, we not only it didn't happen, we didn't hear about the possibility no more. It's kind of weird. Maybe something behind the scenes happened where it kind of fell out and it was no longer plausible or whatever. That it didn't make sense to me either. I agree with you on that. But we have to see. Maybe they got something up their sleeves. You know, like I said, maybe you can get them in, make Mike D'Antoni, figure it out. We'll see what happens with that. I don't expect much. What else? You got Steph Curry. Now the Warriors, they stayed together. They were able to keep everybody. They re-signed Curry, Durant,
Yes, sir.
Livingston, and Iguodala. They was able to keep all those guys.
Yep.
Good for them. I hate them.
Yeah. And that was because of Kevin Durant's unselfishness and taking less money.
Man, you sound like a bandwagon, dude.
Stop it. Why am I bandwagon? I like Kevin Durant. I told you this.
Yeah, but like an hour ago, you just said that you don't like LeBron as much as you used to.
I don't like LeBron as much as I used to because the media is making me not like him as much as I used to.
Oh.
By constantly comparing him to Michael Jordan.
That ain't his fault. No.
Excuse me, is he not fanning the flames for that? Who did he say he was chasing? Okay then. So let's not make it seem like he's innocent on the matter. Okay? And then he make little sideways slick comments. Like when he said, people making it seem like Michael Jordan did it by himself.
Oh yeah.
All that type of shit.
Yeah, he did say
you know what I'm saying? You know, just making little slick comments here. So I don't know. It ain't just the media. It ain't just the media. It's him too.
Okay. You know what, man? That sounds good. That sounds good. I believe it.
You know, don't get me wrong. I'm still a LeBron fan.
No, I know that.
But there's just certain things that I just don't like, or like him making them stupid ass tweets talking about them disingenuous ass tweets talking about was it David Griffin? Or
Yeah.
Talking about well, I knew nothing about it, but I'm behind you and stuff. Nigga, you knew what happened.
Even if no one else
even if else, nigga, motherfucker, you know damn well you had something to do with it. They ran it by you and you gave them the thumbs up. Don't nothing happen in that organization without your knowledge, nigga.
Right.
So stop trying to pretend like, you know what I'm saying? Just little stuff like that. I just don't like stuff like that. But as a player, I mean, he's unparalleled.
Right.
You know.
Okay. All right. That's the thing. I notice I didn't accuse you of being a bandwagon. I just said he sounded like one. But now you gave me more information. I take it back. But still though, like it seems like you like Kevin Durant more now that he's an NBA champion. Is there any truth to that? It's okay. It's okay if that.
Did I not express a lot of admiration for Kevin Durant and such before he won his championship title?
Not saying you did. You did.
All right then. There's your answer.
But it seems like it's come up to another level, and I'm talking about a whole nother level ever since he won his fraudulent.
Obviously, I'm gonna have a newfound respect for a champion. I respect rings. That's what I respect. I respect motherfuckers that got it done. I am not a statistic person necessarily. You can have all the statistics in the world. That does not make you the better player. If that's the case, then Russell Westbrook is the greatest player of all time because he put up the greatest statistics of all time. Is he better than Kareem and all them other cats because of his statistics? No. You have to get it done.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I people talk about LeBron James, his statistics are better and all this type of shit than Michael. Maybe his statistics are higher in certain areas than Michael. That does not make him the better player. So the same thing, so I say that to say this with Kevin Durant. I look at rings. That's what I look at people who are able to get it done. Kevin Durant got it done.
Absolutely.
And he was the best player on the team getting it done. So yes, my respect level has went up for him.
That's fine. Okay, that's fair, but I'm just making sure here. But I want to say something real quick. You got respect for champions, right?
Yes.
Respect the 2015 Warriors, then. Period.
Why?
You see that contradiction, y'all? He's gonna try to make it sound good, but
it's not a contradiction. See, you see how he's jumping down my throat before he even gave me a chance to defend myself?
But that's gonna sound, if you just cut it off right when you said why, you would look bad. But go ahead and explain it.
Well, of course, I would. Anybody would look bad if you cut it off before they finish their sentence. Okay.
Go ahead.
The 2015 Warriors won against a team that was crippled. LeBron James did not have two of his best players on his team. Two. Not one, two. At the same time. Both. Gone. So I'm not going to give... I'll give them props as being champions that year, but there's going to be an asterisk by it, which I've said many times. Off air to this dude right here. That it has an asterisk on it. You got to remember that LeBron James was not in full strength. Now, my comrade here, he refuses to believe that or put any type of credence in that because he feels that the Golden State Warriors would have won anyway. But here's my thing. How can you be so cocksure that when he had them down 2-1 without his peoples? So I'm not going to give them that. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt on that.
Two things I say to that is this. Number one, if LeBron would have had his horses, see, him not having those guys there, he was able to tap in to super duper mega LeBron.
That makes Golden State look bad. Your argument is making Golden State look bad.
Let me finish, and then you have your time to respond. All right. So if those guys wouldn't have went down, LeBron would have never been at that level. So that would cancel each other. It would cancel it out right there.
No.
Let me finish, and then you can definitely respond. So they would have if he would have had those guys. Let's say for argument's sake, they would have still went up 2-1 with those guys. Now there goes my second point. Steph Curry didn't wake up until Game 4. So look, Steph Curry would have still woke up, and they still would have won. They would have still won.
Okay, here this is a bunch of BS. Man.
It's not BS.
Yeah, this is BS because first of all, that makes Golden State look bad. If you're saying that he had to go into super duper mega LeBron, that makes Golden State look bad. That does not sound like a team that would have beat him with his horses. If he can go into Super Saiyan LeBron like you're saying, and still beat them 2-1. That doesn't make Golden State look good. So that's really arguing against your point that Golden State is the better team because it makes them look bad. No, it makes if it makes him look good, it makes them look bad.
No, it just makes them look just neutral.
How can you be neutral when you have your team on full and you go down 2-1 against the team who's crippled? That does not make you look good in any shape or form.
Because LeBron was the best player in the series. We knew that.
Kevin Durant was the best game. LeBron James was the best player in the series this past series. Anyway, wait, hold on. Let me finish because I got a second point I want to make. Then you say Steph Curry woke up. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but what about Kyrie? What if Kyrie had to put his D on him, like he did in 2016? What about the defense? And what about the extra points that Kyrie would have put up there? What about the extra boards, the extra second chance buckets that Kevin Love would have given them? What about that? So all of that talking about
Kevin Love. You want to finish?
Go ahead.
Kevin Love, anything he would have, like his defense, because I've seen this before that Kevin Love not being there made them a better defensive team.
I said his boards. Did you hear what I said? His second chance.
I heard what you said.
Okay, so address that before you go to anything else.
That would have canceled anything that gave them on the boards out.
Well, first of all, Kevin Love did good defense on Steph Curry in 2016.
That one play.
Okay, it wasn't just that one play. He played good. He played good defense on him. Read the article, man. I showed the article to you before.
But you talking about in 2000?
I'm talking about in 2006. Read the article about Kevin Love's defensive performance in the finals. Read the article. There's a whole article about it that backs up what I'm saying. I don't have the stats to do it, but he did well defensively. Okay. So what about that? And the boards. The second chance buckets is a big thing. All right, so they lost that rebounding.
But
they lost the rebounding and they lost
his
Kyrie's what you call it? Offensive and defensive presence. So that's a lot to lose.
With Kevin Love, they lost a liability on defense also. So there's an addition by subtraction.
That's a silly statement because they didn't have Kevin Love, and he still got him down 2-1. So with Kevin Love, you're trying to say it would have hurt him? That makes no sense. In
some way, you'd have got something on the board, but you would have had a lot.
But they didn't have defense with if he wasn't on the court, so they didn't have defense with him then.
Well, he wasn't on the court. They were better defensively without him. They were.
That's not true.
And I'm talking about that final series.
That is absolutely not true.
I'm sure if you go back and look at the numbers of the 14-15 season, just look at the playoffs.
How are they better defensively without him? How? What way?
This is what I was hearing at the time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't see that. I didn't see them being better defensively without him.
If you think about it,
Matthew Dellavedova was one of the defensive anchors of that team. He would have been defending whether Kevin Love was there or not. It was Matthew Dellavedova that was giving Steph Curry the business. So I don't get that one. Perhaps you're right. I'm just saying I don't know. Can you show me some statistics or something to back that up?
Sure. I mean, I can show you.
Okay, because I didn't see that with my eye test. They didn't look better defensively. I mean, they looked like how they always look.
Well, let's think about it. You put in your front line. I consider just the center of power forward, the front court. But I know small forward is technically part of it. But their front line, Timothy Mozgov and Tristan Thompson. Doesn't that sound like that would be better than Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love? Or no, not Tristan Thompson. Timothy Mozgov and Kevin Love. Doesn't that sound a lot better?
It depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at rebounds,
I'm talking about defense.
Defense?
Yeah.
I don't know how good was Timothy Margal on defense. I don't know how he is as a defensive player. I don't think he was known for that, for great defense. I know he was good for maybe grabbing boards and maybe giving you points inside. But I never thought of Timothy Mozgov as a rim protector. Perhaps he was. I don't
have the numbers, but I always looked at him as the reason why the Cavs that first year LeBron came back. I always looked at him as the biggest reason why they were able to turn it around.
Because he had a points presence in the paint.
I think it was because of his defensive. Because he wasn't much of a scorer. He's not much of a scorer. That's why when he got that.
He can score. Timothy can score. He can score, and he's big. Anytime you got a big ass motherfucker in the paint, you're gonna have some type of a presence. You don't even really gotta do anything.
Oh, let's look at Joakim Noah.
What about him?
Just because
Joakim Noah is a good defender. He's terrible offensively.
We're talking about you're trying to talk about points. I'm saying
I didn't say points. I said anytime you got a big dude in the paint, you're gonna have some type of presence there. There's gonna be you're gonna collapse.
I agree.
Okay.
The presence wasn't offensively for Mozgov though.
I said Mozgov can score.
Yeah.
So why'd you bring Joakim Noah up? He can't.
Noah's giving you 30 before. I mean,
oh man, dude. You see what I'm saying? That's why he's laughing. He knows this is ridiculous. This is terrible.
His career high is 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, all right.
Hey, 30. If you average 30, what's that? That's phenomenal. He's giving you 30 in the game. I mean, a lot of niggas. So
we're gonna leave this subject and keep talking now because there's no point in talking about this. This is ridiculous and he knows it is. So to say that he would have done worse with his two horses is asinine beyond any comprehension.
I didn't say they would do worse. Never said that.
So they would have done better. You can't say it would have been linear because that wouldn't make sense either. You can't say that it would have been the same. I'm sorry, lateral. You can't say it would have been lateral either because that wouldn't make sense either. You would have to say that he would have been better with his two All-Stars. Otherwise, there's no point of him having his stars. He could just do this the whole time.
What I was doing when I said when I talk about Kevin Love, the defense, I'm saying obviously it would have been better as a whole with those two. But I'm saying
now let's stop right there.
Hold on a second.
So he said they would have been better. Now he had them 2-1 without them.
Can I finish?
If they would have gotten, but no, because it doesn't matter. You just said they would have gotten better.
Yeah, but they would have been better enough. They would have been good enough to beat the Warriors, though.
But he almost had them beat without him.
No, he never.
He had him down 2-1 without him.
Yeah, but he lost.
If he could have won one more, that would have been 3-1. That would have put the onus on Golden State. Oh. They would have had to have won what? 3 straight? Yeah, they would have had to won 3 straight. What is the likelihood of that?
But they did that anyway. That's the thing. They did it anyway.
They did it without his horses. Could they have won 3 straight with his horses? That's the question.
They wouldn't have had to.
You see what I'm saying? That's the rub.
They wouldn't have had to. I'm just saying they would have been better overall. But
he's saying they would have been better, but in the same breath, he's saying that it would have been worse.
No, I just talked about one. See, you're looking at. I wasn't.
Yeah, you're saying they wouldn't have had to. You're saying they would have never went down 2-1 in the first place had he had his horses. That's what you're trying to say.
That's not what I said. I'm saying that they would have been better. Just keep it simple. But they wouldn't have been good enough. I just said that to beat the Warriors.
They had him down 2-1 without his horses. If he had his horses, they'd have been better. So what makes you think that they would have won 3 straight with all his players? That's what you would have had to believe. You would have to believe that they would have to have beat a full strength Cavs team 3 games straight. I am not willing to bet on those odds.
I am because the Warriors were like, because you have to remember the Warriors weren't playing at their level either. I'm saying if you got both teams playing at their full potential, the Warriors are gonna win every time. And the Warriors were playing at their full potential in games 4, 5, and 6, which is why they won 3 straight.
They actually weren't. Their bench didn't do shit.
Well,
so this is what I'm saying. If he had his horses, bro, they would have. They could have prevailed. And you're right. They might not have. They might have still lost. You're 100% correct. The Cavs could have still lost, but they also could have still won too. There's doubt, and that's why I have the asterisk there.
If that thing you just said about the bench, I mean, that shit was a long time ago. I don't remember, but shit, they probably didn't show up because they didn't have to. Maybe if they would have had to, if those guys were there, who knows? All I'm saying.
I know is that they did a disappearing act.
Well, whatever.
That's all I'm saying. The bench didn't really do much. Harrison Barnes, he didn't even really do much. If you look at his performance during that, he wasn't that great. If you look at his performance, you know, in what was it, 2000? I'm sorry, what was his performance?
2016.
Yeah, they traded him because of his performance then.
Yeah, and and one thing about Harrison Barnes, I kind of wanted to watch him. I watched him play. That nigga is a black hole. He does not pass the ball. I see why they're so. They had the worst points per game average in the league. They kept getting. I think they pulled that game out, but they just gave the ball to Harrison Barnes. This nigga thinking shoot, and he was making a lot of, but that nigga does not pass at all. I didn't want to say that real quick.
Yes.
That's the thing. You say their bench didn't show up. They might have showed up if they would have had to. That's all I know. But all in all, I always believe. You
don't think going down 2-1 means you need to show up?
See, but the thing is, how do we know? How do we know? We don't have the numbers in front of us. How do we know for certain that they did?
I heard some analysts talking about it. Well, that might not be enough. You know, I don't really like to put too much stock on what analysts say. You know, I got to look at the numbers. I don't see. We do this on the fly, audience, so we don't really have a lot of the numbers in front of us. A lot of times,
realistic to expect us to.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we just go by you know, the fly, the seat of our pants, memory and shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about. But no, hell no. I can't say that they would have definitely won or lost. That's why there's an asterisk.
Yeah, well, your boy Skip Bayless said the same thing. You know, he talked about. You only talk about the finals. You know, he talked about how. Well, you talk about the other stuff too, but you mainly focus on the finals. Skip Bayless was saying, look, every team you played, the starting point guard was out. You know, and that's. But I think the reason why you don't talk about that as much is you know they would beat the other teams, even with the starting point guard, right? Like, let's say the Pelicans. We know that Drew Holiday was
he wasn't going to make the difference. But there's still an asterisk, though. There's still an asterisk.
Okay.
Because anything can happen. Anything can happen in a game.
See, that anything can happen. When you talk about a 7-game series, that's why if the NBA was like the NFL, or as far as just playing one game in a playoff series, that would facilitate more parity. But when you talk about a 7-game, the way it really is, 7-game series, I always say the best team tends to win those, man. So.
I'll give you a prime example. When Kawhi Leonard got injured in the playoffs this past season.
Yeah.
That's an asterisk.
Yeah.
Because we don't know whether the Spurs could have pulled that off or not. One individual knocked that whole thing off course. Right. So anything can happen.
And that's the thing. You could honestly, maybe if you wanted to, they handled the Cavs, but you know I think the Spurs are better than the Cavs. So of course that doesn't mean a whole lot to me. If you look at it, the Spurs, like, that doesn't look good on the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. First of all, they blew them the fuck out that first game, regular season game, but the Spurs blew them the fuck out in that game. Had people thinking, jumping the gun and shit, in prison at the moment. Oh, they fuck out of here. I didn't think that was a sign of anything. But you do have that though. First game in the Western Conference Finals, when Kawhi Leonard goes down, you're down 20 plus on your home floor. Then when he goes down, you come back from that deficit, win that game, and then proceed to sweep. So that looks like shit. Maybe you would have lost with Kawhi Leonard. That's how it looks. So honestly, if you wanted to, you could put an asterisk on that. Now, I don't know if I will, because I have a hard time.
See, that's my question. Why would you put an asterisk on that, but not put an asterisk on the win with LeBron, and he lost 2 of his individuals?
But see, it all depends on what you believe what would have happened, regardless if those things hadn't happened.
I mean, let's look at. I mean, I know it's just a regular season game, but it's not the first time that the Spurs had them down by 20 something, and they came back to wreck their ass. Happened in the regular season. They had the Spurs down by like 20. I mean, the Golden State Warriors down by like 23, 26 points. And then the Golden State Warriors came back on their ass and destroyed them.
That was with Kawhi, right?
Yeah, I was with Kawhi.
So you believe they would have won? They would have still won.
I'm saying it's a possibility. We don't know. That's why I put an asterisk on it.
Okay, well, I mean, again, to me, it depends on what you think. You know, I don't know. That's the thing about that. I'm quite sure the Warriors would have still won.
Now, here's the thing, right? So you say Kawhi Leonard has them down by 23 in their own house. He gets injured, and then they come back, win that game, and proceed to sweep. That's enough to put an asterisk there. But LeBron James going up 2-1
I said I wasn't sure.
Is not enough to put an asterisk there.
I said I wasn't sure, did I not?
I said asterisk.
No, I'm talking about.
As you said, that's enough to put an asterisk there.
I said I don't know if I want to put an asterisk there when it comes to the Western Conference Finals this past season. I don't know if I might want to. To me, well, okay.
So why even consider it? But you can't consider that with LeBron, and he had them down.
If you want to look at it specifically, you can put an asterisk there if you want to.
Thank you.
But I don't think they would have. I don't think the Warriors would have.
That's fine, and I'm not even gonna argue that with you.
Okay.
It's an asterisk.
So both of their titles got asterisks then, huh?
Who's both?
Both Warriors teams, 15 and 17. Both those Warriors teams championships have asterisks by them, in your opinion.
Mostly the 15 one.
Obviously, yeah.
The 17 one was not a finals game.
Jokic was out too. I mean, not Jokic, Nurkic, excuse me. In that first round, you said they would have gave them some go. You know. So
they keep getting injury breaks.
That's the thing. You know, I talked about it like it looks just like 2015. They won the same amount of games in the regular season.
But the reason why I don't give the 17 one an asterisk is because they beat a full strength Cavs.
Yeah, well,
they beat a full strength Cavs team.
My respect level for the Cavs, I don't know if I've made that clear, is not all that high. Like, they're good.
How could you say that?
They're a product of the weak East, man. Like, see, the thing is, they don't. If they were in the Western Conference, man, they would have. Some,
you mean as constructed?
Yeah, as constructed. If you put them in the Western Conference, I'm not so sure they get into the finals. Like,
okay, what team in the West, other than the Spurs and the Golden State Warriors, are giving them any type of real competition?
Well, that's enough. And we don't know what the Rockets are gonna do.
You mean as of now, or how they were constructed?
Look at how they were. I mean, they could bomb threes on them niggas and put them out of their misery. Their defense is shit. So you explode on them.
Haven't the Cavs played the Rockets in the regular season?
Yeah, that's all we can go by is the regular season.
What happened?
I didn't watch those games.
I didn't watch them either.
I need to. I mean, I might have to go back and watch those. At least one of them. I don't know, man. I don't know. It sounds good though. What I'm saying, like, the Cavs defense isn't very great. The Rockets, they can give you 18 threes a night. You know what I'm saying?
You're right about that. They're a product of the East, but they're still a good team, man. And they were championships. They won championships. They beat the best Western team.
Yeah, they did. But
you see what I'm saying? They beat the best Western team. So in a 7-game series. So if you beat the best Western team in a 7-game series, it's a cinch to believe that they beat. I don't really like using ABC logic like that, but it stands to reason that they probably would do something against the other Cavs.
Well, we had a certain. See, I don't know if we revealed this on air, but we had a bet that said if the Warriors win a championship, then he has to take what I says about the corruption more seriously. Because a lot of times my notions he would dismiss disrespectfully, I might add, quite often. If the Cavs win, or if the Cavs won, excuse me, not the Warriors. If the Warriors had won, which they did, I have to stop talking about that. I have to talk about basketball as if I don't think it's rigged in any way. So because of that bet, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, you're right, bro. You're absolutely right.
So that whole thing you just said was totally unnecessary.
That whole monologue.
Yeah, that whole monologue was completely unnecessary.
No,
all you had to do was just say yes.
No, it was
so basically, what he was doing was in his own slick way is trying to tell you that it's rigged and he thinks it was thrown and shit like that. And so, but without saying it, he gives me this monologue. Okay, so you still broke your bet because you still alluded to it.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. You alluded to it because you said because of that bet, you just gonna have to agree with me. So you're alluding to it still.
I didn't break the bet.
Yes, you did.
No.
Because you're still talking about it.
I'm not talking.
This dude's still talking about it.
So I can't talk. You never said I couldn't talk about the bet. You never.
So are you gonna say that every single time you're gonna do this monologue?
No. That's not.
Okay, it's because that was his little slick way of doing it, and I'm not going to let any of it escape. That shit is dead. You understand? It's gone, finished, finito. Don't try to slick, bring it in there, push it in there. You think this dude think he's slicker than Petro, man? For real.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you, man. The fact that they beat the Warriors in 16, maybe they, I don't know, maybe they would be almost as successful. But I don't know. Definitely not in the regular season. They probably wouldn't crack 50 wins in the regular season when they be playing and coasting and shit. But that's just the regular season.
But they coast because of the conference they're in.
See, you know what?
Would they coast?
They couldn't coast in the West because then they might play the Warriors in the second round or something.
Yeah.
Hell no, you can't do that. So yeah, you're right. You can't coast you couldn't coast if you were in the West.
But they're a product of their conference, and LeBron is a product of his conference. For the past few years, he's had it really, really easy coming through the East. You know what I'm saying?
And to give him the benefit of the benefit of the doubt, I might be honest with you. Maybe he coasts because he knows he can in that conference. Maybe if he had more competition, he would still show that he has the best team in the conference. I think they definitely play down to their level of competition.
I mean, the dude swept both rounds of the playoffs.
Yeah, they play. Yeah, they definitely play down.
So these are supposed to be the best of the best in the conference. He sweeps them. Whop.
Right.
So if you're doing that, you have an easy conference.
Right. True. Now let's talk about the. Now I said we were going to focus on the Bulls side of things. Now we can talk about the Timberwolves side of things. You said they're going to be a playoff contender.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a playoff. Yeah.
But you want to sit there and say, yeah, they will make the playoffs?
Yeah,
they make the playoffs. Okay. How much do you like? Obviously, they might need more time and more pieces. How do you like their chances to become a powerhouse in the league?
Oh, I like it a lot. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns is already one of the best big men in the league.
Absolutely.
Anthony Wiggins, his only problem is he doesn't play defense. With Jimmy Butler, who is a defensive dynamo, he's going to show Anthony Wiggins how to become a defensive powerhouse. That's going to make Anthony Wiggins a superstar. Then you got Jimmy Butler. I mean, you win like Flynn. Then you got Thibodeau, who's a good coach. So, I mean, they can really do something. Because the only thing that's stopping them from being a super team now is Anthony Wiggins. Once he gets up to where he needs to be, you're looking at one.
Now they traded Rubio, and then they decided to sign Jeff Teague. What do you think about that?
Oh, and I forgot about Jeff Teague.
Yep.
I mean, this is a playoff team, man.
Yeah.
This is a playoff team. That's the type of point guard they need for that system.
Right.
He can go and get you points, and he can give you assists.
Right. Unlike Rubio, who's gonna give you the assists.
Minnesota's gonna be something. Minnesota's definitely gonna be something.
Would it surprise you if they got like 6, dare I say 5th seed? Would that surprise you?
I don't know about no 5th.
Yeah.
They may make 7th.
7th?
7th, 6th.
Okay. So when do you think they'll be a contender for the title? What year?
I don't know.
Obviously,
they have a couple pieces that they still need to add. Zach LaVine, getting rid of him, that was good. That opens the ball to be free more. Because Zach LaVine played no defense, and he was a ball stopper.
And we don't know if he's going to come back the same because he tore his ACL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 76ers. You know, JJ Redick was out the door. He went out of the Clippers. He went to the 76ers.
He did go to the 76ers. Yep.
How do you like their chances to make the playoffs?
Hey, that's gonna be decent. It's gonna be decent. That's a team that might can give LeBron some goal, because if Joel Embiid
right now or later,
it depends on how Ben Simmons plays and Markelle Fultz. If they gel and play like what we think they can play, who's stopping Joel Embiid? Who on the Cavs have any answer for him?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like a Ben Wallace with an outside shot.
Right.
And taller.
Yeah.
Come on.
Outside center.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joel Embiid is not. Yeah, man. And then, I don't watch college ball, but I saw a comment that said Markelle Fultz is as good as advertised. So if that's the case, man, like you said, you looking at something. JJ Redick got a shooter in there.
Yep.
Dario Saric, who's a guy who people thought should have maybe won Rookie of the Year. So that's your starting five right there. That's
a tough squad, man.
Yeah.
And Ben Simmons ain't nothing but another type, like a young type LeBron wannabe, really.
Right.
If he can play anywhere near LeBron's skill level, I mean, we haven't got a chance to see him, but the only thing that's going to hurt the 76ers is if Joel Embiid cannot stay healthy.
Right.
He has to stay healthy. If he keeps getting injured, they don't have a chance.
Right, and Ben Simmons missed the entire season. I think it was because of a foot problem, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't come and rear its ugly head as well.
Exactly.
They don't need. See, that's the thing, man. That whole Andrew Bynum fiasco, like I talked about earlier, they don't need another one. They don't need that again. They need to have players who are available and reliable. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, given how weak the East is, you think they can make the playoffs? What kind of seed do you think they can get? Right now.
Talking about the 76ers?
Yeah. Embiid.
Fourth seed.
Fourth seed? They didn't get the fourth seed?
Yeah, because there's only two other teams besides the Cavs that can probably do something against them.
Celtics, Wizards, Raptors. So which one of those teams are going to be under the Sixers?
I forgot about the Wizards. Say it again now.
Which one of those? Do you think any of those? So would you give them fifth seed now that you remember?
They can beat out the Wizards.
You think they can?
Healthy, yeah.
I don't know.
See, the 76ers just was never healthy. The whole Joel Embiid was never healthy. Ben Simmons and them were never healthy. We never got a chance to see what a healthy 76ers team could do. So they lost so many games because their players sat out so many games. All healthy at their peak. Yeah, they could beat out the Wizards.
Yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs all healthy.
Yeah, they could beat out the Wizards.
They're not gonna be in NBA purgatory no more. Well, let's talk. We were talking about degree and extent.
Yeah, they could beat out the Wizards because and the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm going over the roster in my head. Who does the Wizards have that could beat them out? John Wall is their only real star.
John Wall is will be the best player in that series.
Right, and he's the only real star though. 76ers got few of them. Markelle Fultz, I can't say Markelle Fultz, he just got there, but if he plays with the talent level, Ben Simmons is another star.
He's a rookie. Because he didn't play. He's going to be a rookie.
But I'm saying if they play up to their potential, now if they don't, and it takes them a while to gel, then they probably won't even make the playoffs. But if they play like we think that they can play, they'll have a whole bunch of people on their squad that could beat out the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? Who on the Wizards is gonna do what? You putting your faith in Otto Porter? I'm not.
Man, that nigga. Man, look.
Didn't even play that well in the playoffs.
Well, no, but think about it. Like the Nets just offered him a $106 million 4-year extension, or not extension, contract. And when the Wizards said we matching that, they said right away we're gonna match that. So they think he's worth that much money.
There's garbage motherfuckers that have gotten a lot of money before, man.
See, that's the thing. We need to talk about this money thing. I was gonna talk about it with Steph Curry. We'll get back to that. Well, we'll get back to break it down these transactions. You think the Sixers can make the 4th seed?
Playing to their potential
and healthy, yeah. So now you have I think you have a better idea on how ridiculous it is for players getting this money. Steph Curry, $201 million contract, 5 years. So that's 40. That's roughly $40 million a year.
It's a lot of bread.
A lot of bread. And I told you, I said, like, look, once I figured out they had his bird rights, I'm like, okay, yeah, they can give him a lot of money. I said probably about, they could do like 35. No, they did. Because I really didn't want to say 40, because just in case I was wrong, I didn't want to go over. But shit, it was actually more than that. They gave him at 40 a year, and I was saying, like, he ain't gonna stay on the Warriors if they're trying to offer him. Well, I don't know. It depends how much you're talking. Now we see if they tried to give him like $25 million a year, that nigga probably would have been out the door, because he knew what he could get. You know what I'm saying? $40 million a year. What do you think about the money that's being handed out right now?
I'm all for it.
You all for it? Okay.
All these billionaires, they making money off of them.
Right.
Why can't the players make money?
Absolutely.
There shouldn't even be a salary cap.
Yeah, there's not in baseball.
Yeah, I have no problem with it. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's awesome. But see, my thing is, us fans. Well, I can't speak for everybody. For myself, I was saying more cap space means more players can sign. You can sign more players. No, that's not how it works. Everybody's value has went up. It's not just for certain people. No, everyone's value went up, so it's the same. So it really doesn't matter for us, unless you want to just say, hey, I get your money, but that money ain't going in our bank account. So at the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, good for them though. Yeah. So let's talk about this. Kevin Durant. People keep praising him for taking a pay cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nigga, he getting 26 a year.
And he could have gotten 36.
Man, I don't give him credit for taking no pay cut.
Man, your hatred for Kevin Durant has went over the top, man. Now this is a superstar player that can get all types of bread, and he's deciding to take less money, almost $10 million less. You know what I'm saying? So that his teammates can stay intact. That is unselfish, bro.
$26 million a year. Yo, yeah, you really...
The $10 million difference.
No, let's just look at the $26 million.
No, I want to look at what he's going down. That's $10 million he's giving up. That's a lot of bread.
That's what everybody's looking at.
It's a lot of money. $10 million.
I'm not looking at it.
He could have got $36 million. I don't think you have any real idea how much money $10 million is to leave on the table. And that's a year.
Yeah, but another reason why he doesn't deserve all the praise, you said it yourself.
How many years is his contract?
It's 2 years. But
it's 2 years. So he left $20 million on the table.
Can I finish my point? You said it yourself. The owners are going to help him make that money back in endorsements. And I saw the report. So you knew that before I even saw it myself. So how much praise does he really deserve?
A lot, because he could have penny pinched and got as much as he wanted. They could still introduce him to the endorsements and stuff if he got the $10 million more.
What if they didn't? Like, my thing is that they probably said, look,
it's an unselfish thing. It's something that LeBron ain't doing. Not that it would have made a difference, because they're already $30-something million over the cap space anyway.
Yeah.
It's something a lot of cats wouldn't have done.
Right.
To keep their check. He could have been like, look, I got Steph, Clay, and Draymond, and me. I don't need Iggy and Sean Livingston. Give me my bread. You could have said that, but he didn't. That's unselfish, man.
I guess my thing is, it might be unselfish. Well, I don't know about, it's unselfish, but God damn it, man, he's getting $26 million a year. If he'd have got $16 million a year, then I'd be like,
see, you splitting hairs and you hating right now.
No, that's another $10 million difference. How is that splitting hairs? That's a lot of money right there.
Absolutely. What I mean by splitting hairs is what you're doing is you're taking what he's doing and you're trying to dissect it so much.
Well,
like what? Why are you doing that?
I have to dissect it.
He gave up a lot of money for his team to stay intact. That's admirable. How could you find anything wrong with that?
Because I don't like the decision, on its own merit. So when people was giving him all this praise for, you have to dissect it, because on the surface it looked like he's being unselfish. But if you have to dissect it to put it in perspective, like, this nigga is still getting $26 million a year. Like, look, what did Kyle Lowry signed for? Probably somewhere around that. You know, now I could be mistaken, but what if we look and see how much Kyle Lowry is getting per year? What if he's getting around 26, 27 million a year? That's a lot of money.
So, well, nobody said it wasn't, and he deserves every penny of it.
But I'm saying, how much praise do you really deserve?
A lot, because he is the reason why Iggy and Sean Livingston are still on that team. They would have had to waive them. Yeah. Well, and I'm sure Iggy and them didn't want to go nowhere.
Right. So
him doing that was unselfish and allowed them to stay a part of a championship team. That is extremely admirable. I don't get it.
See, the thing is, he didn't have to take that low amount of money because they were able to re-sign him. But whatever. I can't help but think about it. See, part of it is I'm doing the same thing I always accuse you of, not being able to recalibrate your philosophy when it comes to the money being handed out. I guess that's what I'm fixated on. Like, I can't recalibrate mine enough where I'm looking at 26 million as like this low amount of money.
Nobody's saying it's peanuts. It's right. It's the thought, the gesture that they're praising. That's what they're praising. The thought and the gesture that he took $10 million less a year. He's leaving $20 million on the table.
20. You said 36. He's getting 26. I wish he would have took 20.
Did you say his contract is 2 years?
Oh, yeah.
So $10 million a year. That's $20 million.
My bad. Yeah, you're right. Sure. Yeah, look, man.
That's a lot of bread. $20 million to take less.
I guess. Well, look, I can't change just the feeling, the sensation that I just get hearing that. I can't change it. It's just how I'm wired. This $26 million to me, a couple years ago, that nobody was getting that.
Now, you need to keep talking about the 26 mil, man. It's not about the 26 mil. It's about what he's doing to keep his team intact. In other words, he's showing that he cares more about a championship team than getting as much money as he could possibly get. That's what he's.
It's somewhat admirable. See, we're not talking about the state of being admirable per se. We're talking about the degree of that.
How much credit do you think he deserves for that?
Some. He deserves some credit for that because he really could have taken the high amount of money, the highest amount of money available. He could have done that. He deserves some credit for that. But let's not give this nigga a claim to the high heavens. Nah, it ain't that deep to me. You took less money, but you're still getting a shit ton. That's how I can't help but look at it.
But it's not only that he took much money, but it's what they were able to accomplish with him taking less money.
That's the reason why he took less money.
Right. So it's what they were able to accomplish. They were able to keep their championship team intact. That's fucking great. Great gesture, man. It doesn't matter how much money he's making. That isn't even the point.
But it is my sentiment. But in the words of Gucci Mane, LaFleur, Guwap, fuck Kevin Durant. And that's all I have to say about the subject.
But you know what? While you saying that, he in Cabo somewhere getting his dick sucked by two fucking raw-ass twins. Ordering a Mai Tai and lighting fucking cigars with $100 bill. He doesn't care.
Well, sure. That's fine.
He's covering his ears with $26 million. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, so you see, that's enough money
to cover your ears.
Yeah, it's enough, ain't it?
Absolutely.
All right. What else happened? So you got. I can just cut this out if I have to. What other teams was out there? They made some good moves.
That's about all I can think of right now. They do. I did want to discuss the Kyrie and the Chris Paul thing.
Oh yeah.
Because you said.
Oh yeah.
that see, audience, what the discussion was about was whether Kyrie Irving was a top 5 point guard or not. I don't think that he is not a top 5 point guard. I can't think of too many point guards that would be better than Kyrie Irving. Originally, he admitted that Chris Paul was not better than Kyrie. Now he wants to change his fucking mind. So I will allow him to please give his reasons as to why.
So we had a discussion that Kyrie Irving is not, like I'm saying, he's not a top 5 point guard. Then I have to think about it like, well, damn, I can think of 4 better. To me, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, if you wanted to include him. Now maybe you can't because he's not going to be playing point guard anymore. John Wall.
So James Harden's out.
Well, then I guess he would still be a top 5 point guard.
Yep.
But
I win. Thanks. Next subject.
No, so now you want to discuss Chris Paul. I still think Chris Paul might be better. It wasn't even about that.
Okay, I'm just playing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I still think Chris Paul's probably better. Just because the fact, like, just because you can, like, thing is, Kyrie can do pretty much everything, but he doesn't. You know.
What is it he does not do?
He doesn't pass.
He does pass.
He does not pass consistently.
He doesn't have to. Why would he pass consistently?
Okay.
He doesn't even bring the ball down the floor that much.
You keep talking about the grand scheme of things.
I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, why do you talking about
I'm gonna rebuttal. I'm gonna let you say everything you gotta say. Go ahead.
I'm gonna try to fuck his argument up before he even makes it.
No, don't do that. Just state your claim.
Chris Paul passes he passes the ball. Like this guy averages almost 10 assists. Kyrie Irving, I guarantee you, he will never average.
Just state your reasons for why Chris Paul is better.
I'm doing it now. Because Chris Paul is doing something that I believe Kyrie Irving will never do under any circumstance.
Okay.
And that is average 10 assists. John Wall could do that in his sleep. This nigga averaged damn near 11, 10.7. All right. I'm just saying, I think John Wall is better too. Best point guard in the Eastern Conference. Kyrie Irving is at 5.8 this year, which is not. Now I will give him credit. See, here's the thing: you say he doesn't have to with LeBron. Now, your argument is probably going to be.
Dude, will you please just state your thing?
There's not much to it.
What good is it for me to rebut if you're gonna try to state my own rebuttal?
There's not much to say.
Just to state your claim as to why he's better. Okay, so that's it. That's all it narrows down to, folks. That's it. Nothing big. That's all.
That is big.
Nothing big at all. Okay, because I'm going to go ahead and do my rebuttal. That's why I say nothing big, folks. Let's make a list of all the things that Kyrie does better than Chris Paul. Okay, because if it's more than one category, then you can't just say passing makes him better. If he's got Chris Paul in every other thing. Okay. So why don't you let me do my thing?
Because
why are you trying to speak for me?
It's all part of scoring.
It doesn't matter if it's all part of scoring because there's different facets of offensive skills. Are there not?
Okay. I'm gonna let you speak.
Yes, he is a better finisher. That is correct. And if you're a better finisher around the rim, that makes you harder to stop, which in essence makes you better. Okay? He's a better shooter from the 3-point line as well. That's threes, okay? Yes, they're all offensive. And passing is fucking offensive too. Right? Now, as he's quicker, he's a better ball handler. All right? Now, as far as Chris Paul's passing ability, I will say that he averages more passes. All I have to say to that is that if Kyrie is playing in a system with LeBron James, who is the primary ball handler, okay? Because Kyrie is in a peculiar situation than other point guards. He's pretty much the only point guard on a team where he's not the primary ball handler. Okay? Name another point guard, or try to name another 3 or 4 point guards who are in the same situation Kyrie's in, where they're not the primary ball handler. Most every point guard is. LeBron is the primary ball handler and a great passer in his own right. He's averaging what, like 8-point-something assists?
8.7.
If LeBron James is averaging damn near 9 assists, how the fuck is Kyrie gonna average 10 assists? Explain that to me, somebody.
He wasn't gonna average no 10.
Explain to me how he's gonna average anywhere near it.
I think he's still average.
No, I don't.
He can still
I
average
don't.
He can still average
I don't.
He can still average 7.
I don't. Especially, yeah, I don't. Especially in a type of system that he plays in and what he's called on to do. Kyrie is not called on to facilitate.
So
you dig? Kyrie is called on to score. That's what he is called on. He is to make LeBron James' life easier scoring. That's what his job is to do. Name another point guard like that. Name another point guard whose primary job is to make the primary ball handler's job easier. There is no other one. So you trying to compare Chris Paul's passing to Kyrie in a system like that is not fucking fair. And it's not taking everything into consideration either. You dig?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, I know you don't. I'm talking to the audience, okay? Because you're closed off. Everything I said is 100% correct. Nah. So, the other claim that he makes is that Kyrie wouldn't even be able to do it if LeBron James was not on the team. All I have to say to that is that let's see. When LeBron James leaves the fucking Cavs and Kyrie is still there, then we'll be able to make this conversation. Until then, I don't know. So I can't even make that fucking argument.
Everyone surmises.
I can't surmise because I don't know. I don't know if he would be able to do it or not. I do know that Kyrie has given you 10 assists in a game before.
Sure.
He's done that on multiple occasions.
Kobe's giving you 15.
Okay? Exactly.
But,
So exactly, yeah. Which means Kobe could have done it if he wanted to.
He can't average.
Kobe didn't though.
He can't average 15.
He could have averaged double digit, I bet you.
Sure.
Okay. So, Kyrie, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if he would or not. But I will say that anything that he lacks on the assist end, he would make up for on the scoring end. So even if he doesn't average 10, he averages somewhere near it, he's going to make up for that on the scoring end.
Sure.
Okay, so then that doesn't make Chris Paul better then.
Well, see,
because if he can make up for it on the scoring end and still average close, how is he better? And then do everything else better than Chris Paul, what makes Chris Paul better?
Here's the thing. Here's what will make Chris Paul. Kyrie Irving could be better playing how he plays. He would have to be the best player on the team and get further and be able to do things that Chris Paul can as the best player on the team. But as far as like skills, like because that factors in whether you say whether it should or shouldn't. That factors in whether you say someone's better than someone else. As far as let's just focus on skill set though. Skill set wise, I don't think he's better. Because I'm gonna ask you a question, and I do this a lot.
Oh, there's some things I forgot too. I didn't even mention.
Well, go ahead before I go ahead.
He's more clutch than Chris Paul, and he's been clutch on the big stage when it counts. Okay, so we know that Kyrie can win you a championship. We know that Chris Paul can choke away a 3-1 lead in the playoffs. We know that.
I know he wasn't the biggest reason. He wasn't even close to the biggest reason why that happened.
Okay. But I'm just saying. We know that. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, bro.
I do this a lot with this guy, LJ, here. I'll ask him a question. And I ask him the question to bolster my argument. And when I ask these questions, I know he knows what the answer is. But I believe it. I ain't gonna say I know. I believe he knows what the answer is. He'll just say I don't know. So we'll see what he says. If Kyrie Irving didn't have LeBron James on his team, would he be able to average as many assists as Chris Paul does?
No.
So you say that. So you can go ahead and say that, but the thing is, why can't I ignore the system? Because he still, even if he wasn't, you already said I said that. Even if he wasn't playing with that guy, you believe it yourself. He still wouldn't be averaging that many assists. So what's the problem?
I answered it already. My colleague doesn't listen to me.
I do listen. You said let's wait.
He would make it up on the offensive scoring end.
Okay,
his type of game is that of a scorer. It is not that of a facilitator. So Kyrie would not average those amount of assists, not because he couldn't, but because he wouldn't. He would score. He would average about 3 to 4, maybe 5 more points than he's averaging now if it was his team and his team alone. That's why he wouldn't. It has nothing to do with ability.
I think Chris Paul's play style is more conducive to winning.
How? He's never won anything.
No, that's the thing. Minus the clutch thing. I mean, if you take that out, I'm talking about as far as how much he passes, the scoring ratio. I think Chris Paul is more conducive to winning. Because I think Chris Paul is better scoring than, I know you hate when I do this, than Kyrie Irving is at passing.
Here's the thing. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, Chris Paul was more conducive to winning the way the NBA was back then. Not this NBA. Not the way the NBA is structured now. No. Not when you got point guards constantly shooting threes and pulling up and doing high octane offense, running up and down the floor like them cats are doing. Not now. Chris Paul is a dinosaur. Still thriving in a time where he should have died off a long time ago. So before the way things were, it would be more conducive to winning. Not when cats are pulling up for threes constantly. Not when the floor is stretched out the way it is. Not anymore.
I hear you. But Chris Paul, the way he passes the ball, if he has shooters around him, he can get those shooters off, you know?
He does have shooters around him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
and he still ain't doing nothing.
Well,
and he's a ball stopper too. See, this is the thing. You look at assists and you say, man, he's really flowing with his passes. He's not. He just averages a high amount of assists. But that doesn't mean that he's not a ball stopper, because a ball stopper is somebody who stops the flow. Chris Paul is known for just dribbling in one spot for seconds and seconds on end.
Sure.
Okay? It's the same thing with Rondo. Rondo was doing that with the Mavericks. He'll average all these assists, but when you actually look at the game, you see that what he's really doing is just waiting till the fucking clock goes off and then dish it to a person at the last minute. They make the shot. That is a ball stopper. That you're stopping the flow of the game. You dig?
I know what you're saying.
Those numbers will fool you.
I hear you. But my thing is, to compare him to, I know Ron. That's more the case with Rondo than it is Chris Paul. Can you at least admit that?
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But how can you be such a great passer and be ball dominant as a point guard? That's what Chris Paul is.
Well, we're gonna have to see what he does with James Harden. Like when you have another guy who can dish it out. See, that's the thing. It is bad. The only time you pass is like you're trying to get an assist. Like sometimes you need like constant movement of the ball. Yeah.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? So I hear you. But sometimes.
So he ain't better than. He's just not better than Kyrie, bro.
No, but Chris Paul passes. He passes not don't necessarily get assists. He get hockey assists. He gets hockey assists.
Absolutely. When you play in this game long enough, I'm quite sure you're bound to get hockey assists. I'm talking about his overall type of play. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that he can do better than Kyrie, except for rack up more assists in a way that is not conducive necessarily for winning in this type of game we're playing in this day of age.
So you can't just say he's better.
He's not better than Kyrie.
He's a better passer, is what I'm saying. He's a better passer.
Because he racks up more assists?
No, you can actually see it. You can actually see he's a better passer because he does it more often.
Okay, I give you that, but that doesn't make him better than Kyrie. Even if I was to acquiesce and give you that he's a better passer than Kyrie, which he probably is. That don't make him better than Kyrie. He's just not.
It's because Chris Paul he's not a Ricky Rubio on the scoring end. You know what I'm saying? Like John Wall to me is no question better than Kyrie, but with Chris Paul, I'm a little more lenient with you disagreeing. It's like Chris Paul can score.
I mean, I'm not even sure John Wall is.
Oh.
I haven't listen. Kyrie's the only point guard that we're talking about besides Steph Curry that I've seen on the big stage. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I get Steph Curry number one. Because he actually led his team to the championship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's the only one that I've seen on the big stage. What other point guard that you put above Kyrie have we seen what they could do on a final stage?
Okay, no one. But I already said that let's not look at we're just looking at skill set here. I already said that because you want to talk about
Kyrie has no holes in his game, and you said that to me.
Yeah. See, again, we're talking about skill and talent. I'm talking about better. Yeah, that's what we're talking about here.
If you have no holes in your game, who can be much better than you?
There are some people people can be better than you, and you know there's people better than you.
I'm just saying, we're talking about point guards right now.
Well, I'm saying
overall players, Kyrie's not probably even top 10, but I'm saying point guards.
I think there are point guards better than him, yeah. And you know Steph Curry. You said Steph Curry.
There are point guards better than him, bro, but not many, man.
There's not many.
Not many at all.
Well, see, there's not many who are better.
I give you maybe two.
Even less who are as talented.
I give you maybe two, bro. I may give you Russell Westbrook, and I'm definitely giving you Steph Curry. Russell Westbrook is boneheaded. That's why I'm a little, for the audience, if you be like, man, why is this nigga saying maybe Russell? Because Russell Westbrook does boneheaded ass plays, and he shoots 42% from the field.
Interesting, because he can be objective though. Because our first topic on of this whole series, and if you go back to the first episode, we discussed who we think should win MVP. Russell Westbrook indeed won it, and I think I already said on that podcast I think he will, but I wasn't so sure he should. So yeah, he's. I just want to point that out because we talked about that. He said Westbrook should still win, but you still recognize that he's a bonehead. And
absolutely
does dumb shit.
Still one of my favorite players though.
Yeah. Yeah. So as far as being more talented, I mean, if you want to talk about that, Kyrie might be more talented than Chris Paul, but he's not better.
Why not?
Chris Paul can score, not as well as Kyrie.
Exactly. So right there, that's a problem. He can't score as well as Kyrie.
Kyrie can't pass as well as him. So
but he doesn't need to though. He doesn't need to pass. Chris Paul does need to score more. He does. He's averaging less than 18 points a game. He needs to score more, especially if you're going to be as ball dominant as you are. If you're going to be as much of a ball stopper as you are, you better score like Isaiah Thomas.
Damn, that's.
Yeah, you better score like him to justify being that much of a. Yeah, absolutely.
He's a little too passive at times. I give you that.
Don't have that killer. And for somebody who is as competitive as he is, the killer instinct sometimes just seems to be lacking.
Sometimes, but I've seen it this past playoffs against the Jazz. You know, he took that game over when
they should have beat the Jazz too. That's a shame.
That's true.
That's a shame.
That's true. They should have beat the Jazz.
They should have beat the Jazz.
They had home court too.
They never got out of the second round. Listen, guys, you trying to convince me that Chris Paul is better than Kyrie, but Chris Paul has a super team. On paper, his super team is better than Kyrie's super team on paper. From top to bottom as constructed, taking the coach into consideration, who his pedigree is, the bench and everything else, his team from top to bottom is better, is a better constructed super team than Kyrie's. And he ain't never been out of the second round.
Are we talking about the Clippers here? Or
the Clippers, motherfucker, yeah.
I'm just making sure. I don't know about that.
Come on, bro. And we can do the roster right now.
Yeah, that bench. I'm thinking about the bench.
Ray Felton and Maurice Spates. Okay. J.J. Redick and Jamal Crawford.
Okay. Channing Frye. Sharp. He's a sharpshooter. Darren Williams. Yeah, that ain't funny.
Oh, boy.
Darren Williams ain't funny.
I'll take Jamal Crawford over Darren Williams.
You crazy as hell.
Yeah, I'm not crazy at all. Jamal Crawford has impressed the hell out of me this season.
He's old.
So is Darren Williams.
Nah, he's not as old as Jamal.
Don't matter, they're both old. Nah. And Darren Williams plays like he's old too. At least Jamal Crawford still got that spring in his step.
Man, Jamal Crawford.
Please. He impressed the shit out of me. I'd love to have him coming off my bench. I don't care what nobody say.
Well, yeah, but no, I would like to have him too, but instead of Darren Williams, though.
Absolutely.
Did I told you about the game where he dropped a lot of, he almost had a triple double?
I saw that. I know what game you're talking about.
Yeah.
I saw the game where Jamal Crawford hit 30. So what?
Look, Darren Williams, he can do like he's not Jamal Crawford's just a scorer. Darren Williams showed you. He's shown you when he was in his prime. He can do multiple things. He's more of an all around, a more complete player than Jamal Crawford is.
I'd rather have Jamal though, because if anybody coming off my bench, I want to put points on the board. That's what I want coming off my bench. Somebody that can give me some points, so that when my starters are sitting down, I don't have to worry about losing my lead. That's what I want. Put some points on that board. Jamal Crawford's a better shooter than Darren Williams. Who else? You said Channing Frye. Channing Frye is compared to who?
Most Spates.
That's a wash. They're both good. They're both good from the 3-point line.
Channing Frye's a better shooter than Spates. And you know it.
Spates plays better defense.
Yeah, probably.
So I rather have Spates. Who else?
Who else they got off that bench in Cleveland?
Raymond Felton.
Not talking about Cleveland.
Oh.
Yeah, I know Ray Felton. And you know who's off that bench. I'm trying to remember.
Off of who? We mean Amon Shumpert?
Amon Shumpert.
I'd rather have Raymond Felton. Raymond Felton's a starting caliber point guard. Still.
He used to be a beast.
Who else? We can get off the bench now. We can go on the starters.
Okay.
J.J. Redick he's a shooting guard. Who's the shooting guard for J.R. Smith?
I'd rather have J.R. Smith.
Okay.
Okay, so you will get that one to the Cavs.
I'm not even gonna argue that one. They're both streaky. Both are liable to go off. They're both really the same type of player when you think about it.
Man, you keep calling J.R. Smith streaky. People ain't been calling. I ain't seen people call him that since he's been in Cleveland. I haven't seen it.
Bro, have you been? You ain't been watching Undisputed in this stuff, have you?
I don't have cable.
J.R. Smith has fucking disappeared. He's been disappeared this whole season. He only just in games 4 and 5 started shooting threes like that. J.R. Smith was terrible throughout the playoffs, terrible throughout the regular season.
When I think of, that's a bit hard to say he's terrible throughout the big ass regular season.
He was terrible throughout the regular season.
No, I don't think that's true.
Were you watching it?
I didn't watch all 82 games.
I watched them. They were terrible. He was terrible. J.R. Smith was awful.
You probably watched all the playoffs. You can't. I'm saying nobody watches.
J.R. Smith was awful during the regular season, bro.
Everyone had.
But he was going through some shit. But he wasn't good. Someone was his baby or some shit. He was not playing well.
I see. You just jog my memory. I remember early on he wasn't playing that good, but I felt like he snapped out of that.
Absolutely not. He was playing terrible. You definitely have to go back. I can't believe this. You didn't know how he was playing. He was playing terrible.
In the beginning,
there was a few times where he scored like 2-3 points in a game, and that was it. The whole game, 2-3 points. Awful. He was awful this season.
Let me ask you a question. Because when I think of streaky, I think of a guy who can one game give you 8 for 10 from the 3-point line, and then the next he gives you 3 for 10. That's to me is streaky. If you're not shooting the ball, that's not streaky. That's just disappearing. See, there's a difference between disappearing and choking. If you say J.R. Smith disappears, that's different.
I'm not arguing with this. Everybody knows J.R. Smith is streaky, but you somehow don't.
No,
I don't understand how you live on this planet, love basketball the way you do, and not know that J.R. Smith is streaky.
I know he was streaky when he was on.
He was streaky for pretty much his whole career. The Knicks, he was streaky as hell. They got rid of him for that reason.
I didn't watch him when he was on the
Cavs, he came on here. The Nuggets, he was okay. The Cavs, you know what I'm saying? No, the Nuggets, he was actually the best that you probably ever would see him.
He was young.
You know. Then he gets to the Cavs. This year he was terrible. Now last year he was okay. You know.
I don't know. So I don't see J.R. Smith take a lot of threes and miss them. Is that what you're telling me you see?
Yeah, I've seen that.
How often do you see that? Do you see it in the
Because you know J.R. Smith will just keep shooting his way out of a slump.
I haven't seen that lately. I've seen it before, but I haven't seen it lately.
That's fine, but that's the type of player he is.
I don't know. I'd rather have J.R. Smith, man.
Hey, I ain't gonna argue that with you.
Okay,
man.
so Kyrie and well, never mind. Obviously LeBron beats Luka Bahamute. Kevin Love and Blake Griffin. And DeAndre Jordan and Tristan Thompson.
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. But, shit.
You only got 2 on the Cavs side, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying from top to bottom, okay?
Yeah.
They're composed better, of better players than the Cavs are as a whole.
See, but the problem with that is...
And they never got out of the second round, bro.
See, and I should have said this from the jump, but the problem with that is LeBron James is in my opinion, a top 3 player of all time. Chris Paul ain't nowhere near that. So it's
definitely a top 5 player.
Definitely top 5. So that's the thing. When you have that, man, all other comparisons you want to do, they're kind of rendered irrelevant.
LeBron James is barely getting past Larry Bird to me, man. So wherever you put Larry Bird, LeBron James is probably either equal or just under that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. But still, he's much greater than a Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, so that's the big thing. If you give LeBron if you give Chris Paul his own team, see, because I think Chris Paul he never got out of the second round. But he did more. He had more time, but he did more with his early teams than Kyrie ever did. His teams were trash without LeBron. And
Kyrie had only been in the league for a few years, though.
4 years. That 4th year, he still couldn't get to the playoffs. And they had Dang. They had Bynum.
Dang.
Dang was still good at that time.
He was alright.
He wasn't an all-star no more.
Dang was, to me, the Dang I was fucking was on the Bulls. That was Dang.
Shit.
That was the Dang. That was the Dang. Any dang after that, I don't give a dang.
He had pieces, man. Like because they were like the 10th.
He ain't had no pieces.
They were like the 10th seed.
That was a lottery team. You expect Kyrie's 6-foot ass to come in there and fucking change over a lottery team, man? Come on, bro.
Hell, Isaiah Thomas did it.
Who?
The real Isaiah Thomas, the original.
You talking about one of the greatest players to ever set foot on the court, man. One of the top 50 greatest players, man.
So Kyrie
he can get there. As of now, he's not.
That's the thing. Chris Paul has done enough. See, that's the thing. He has the pedigree. Chris Paul is a top 10
I thought you
guard.
said fuck pedigree.
Well, I'm just saying. I just want to point out.
I thought you ain't care about pedigree. So pedigree does mean something, don't it, nigga?
It doesn't mean a whole lot. But you notice I'm just now saying it. We're like 30 minutes in this conversation. I'm just now saying this. But I'm saying, like, it's not crazy for me to say it because Chris Paul's a top 10
Chris Paul can
point
be a
guard.
top 10 point guard of all time simply because of his body of work. Absolutely. If you're talking about all-time great, then Kyrie doesn't even sniff his ass. But I'm talking about as of right now.
As of right now,
he is not fucking.
I think Chris Paul is better by a little bit.
Chris Paul hasn't even done enough for me to really say he's not. He's been in way longer.
He's top 10.
But he hasn't. What has he done? Why are we putting him in top 10 status? What has he done? At least John Stockton, he's number 2. At least John Stockton played in 2 finals. Like, come on, like
the regular season matters. That's why he's top 10 all time.
Well, that's fine, bro, but
the regular season is where you make your money because it's a bigger body of work.
To be honest with you, it's easier for him to get on the top 10 because there has not been that many great point guards like that. Think of all the greatest point guards. There aren't that many. That's why he's top 10. That's the real reason why he's top 10.
So when you look at Steve Nash, he's top 10 as well.
Yes, he's top 10.
Can you say what has he done? I know he's gotten out of the second round.
He's gotten out of and 2 MVPs.
Oh yeah.
Well,
if you want to look at stuff like that, Chris Paul, it's not an award, but it's an accomplishment. He's won multiple steals titles. He's won multiple assist titles.
He can. I don't begrudge him a top 10.
Right. Okay.
He's top 10 definitely.
But you just now you said what has he done? I'm telling you, those are some of the things.
What has he done for you to be making it seem like Kyrie can't fuck with it?
No, I already said that it's not about much. I just said that. That was my first time saying it, but I just said it like 3 minutes ago. It's not about much, but
it's not by at all because there's nothing that he can do better than Kyrie except for get more assists. That's it.
I already said he's more talented, so you're saying what he can do. I'm talking about what actually transpires on the court.
What actually transpires on the court is Kyrie Irving is a champion.
See, I knew he was going to.
That's what transpired on the court.
I'm talking about skill set.
What skill set does he have that Kyrie doesn't have? Kyrie is better at everything than Chris Paul except for racking up assists that is not called for him in this system.
See, if you already admitted he would do it in another system, then maybe you shouldn't even bring that up.
No, he would not do it in another system because he is a score-minded individual. It's just like Michael Jordan. The system does matter because it's just like Michael Jordan and LeBron. Would Michael Jordan average 10 points a game? 10 assists a game. He would not. Because he is a fucking offensively score-minded driven individual. He would not. Could is a totally different thing. Cause when Michael Jordan, and a lot of people don't notice, when he played point guard for 15 in a 15-game stretch, he averaged a triple-double as a point guard. Motherfuckers don't know that. Had Michael Jordan decided to stay at the point guard position, he would have been the greatest point guard to ever play the game. But he decided to leave the point guard position because he felt more comfortable as a shooting guard. Dig that. Uncomfortably, he averaged a triple-double as a point guard. So just because he didn't doesn't mean he couldn't. It's two different systems. As a point guard, he would because that's his job to assist the ball.
You said 10 assists a game. He wouldn't do that. But you could. Let's go down further. Would he do 9?
Who?
Michael Jordan.
Are you talking about as a point guard?
No, I'm just talking about as a shooting guard.
He's done 8?
He's done 8. That's the thing. That's what I was getting at. If it hadn't happened, you could probably sit there and say, could he average 8 assists a game? If it hadn't happened, you'd probably be like, no. But he's shown he can, and not only he can, he actually did. So I'm saying, like, Kyrie Irving and Michael Jordan is one of the biggest score-minded guys to ever play. So just because you have a score mentality, don't mean you will not do certain things. If you won't, that just means you just.
I think Kyrie could average 8 assists a game.
You think he could?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna average no 10.
You don't think he will do?
He ain't gonna do double digits like Chris Paul.
Okay.
But he could average 8 assists a game.
Okay, so let me ask you this: is the only thing preventing that LeBron being on his team?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because LeBron is averaging 8 his damn self.
I think.
How much facilitating are you going to have on the court, man?
So what do you think? So let's talk about this then. Because I'm glad this happened because it helps it kind of is something to talk about with this argument. How many assists is Chris Paul and James Harden going to average apiece? Like a prediction. Give me a prediction.
Oh, hell if I know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, bro.
I think they both.
What was James Harden averaging
the year before this past season?
When he was a shooting guard? Yeah.
He averaged like 7.4 still.
7.4 assists.
Yeah. Why
are people making it seem like James Harden didn't? Well, maybe because he just held the ball a lot.
He took it up to 11. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's high. So that's a big.
He'll probably go back down to what he was.
7. So you're telling me he can still average his 7.4 assists while Chris Paul averages 8. Let's say.
I don't know what Chris Paul gonna average. I have no idea.
You know he ain't gonna average no 5.8 assists like Kyrie Irving.
I don't know, but bro, he's first of all he's averaging what 9 point something assists right now. Yeah, it's 9 point something. So we know his assists are gonna go down. If James Harden's still gonna average 7 or 6, whatever he averages, that means Chris Paul's by math has to go down. Okay. So how much down is you think he's gonna go?
I think if one guy has to sacrifice in the assist category, it's gonna be James Harden. He might go down lower to.
Well, then that would be the only reason why Chris Paul stays where he's at is if James Harden sacrifices. Well, this shit isn't gonna work, man. I don't think this shit's gonna work, man. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, you could be right. I'm interested to see. I just don't think they're gonna be Golden State. And if Chris Paul believes that, he's delusional. They're not beating Golden State. He should have went to San Antonio.
He should have went to the Spurs. I don't know what he was doing. I agree with you there. But as far as what they're going to average, they're both ball-dominant facilitators. I don't know what they're going to both assist.
Okay.
I can't even tell you. I couldn't even give you a guess.
Fair enough. I'm telling you,
8 and 6. Chris Paul 8. James Harden 6.
That's pretty good. That's good. I think that sounds like to be right. So that means, let's say LeBron, that he averages 8.7. Now that's higher than 8, but Kyrie Irving, don't you think there's room for him to average more than 5.8? If you think that's possible, what they did?
They don't need him to.
They don't need him to, but
It's not necessary because what he's called for is to be a scorer. He is to be the dagger in the heart of the other team. He's to rack up points and make LeBron's life easier. That's what his. And name another point guard like that. All you got to do is because so the passing thing is just not fair.
But again, this just reminds me for some reason it reminds me of the Golden State thing. Yeah, that's how it is. But I don't believe. When I say the Golden State thing, I'm talking about the finals in 2015. This reminds me of it because we're talking about what would happen if certain things weren't in place. But this we can actually see. I don't believe, even if LeBron was on his team, he would average the amount of assists I would consider adequate. He would average maybe 0.5 more. He probably go up to 6.3. I don't think he's cracking 7. He damn sure ain't cracking 8.
Oh, he'll get 7. He'll get 7.
He'll
get 2 more assists a game. He'll get 2 more assists a game. He's a point guard. He has to get 2 more assists a game, or they're going to be terrible.
Derrick Rose the point guard too.
Yeah, and look at where he is. We're not even discussing him.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a move we forgot.
Look at that.
The Clippers.
Fucking Kyrie Irving is averaging more assists as a second facilitator than Derrick Rose is the primary. It's saying a lot to me. It's telling me what he could do if he was a primary.
No, that's showing me how bad Derrick Rose is.
Well,
in that regard,
both.
But real quick, cause this is our longest one. If I'm not mistaken, this is our longest episode ever. So maybe we'll wrap this up soon.
All right.
But the Clippers, they just picked up Danilo Gallinari.
They did, yes.
What do you think? And they're talking about getting Derrick Rose. They might be meeting with him as we speak.
They're stupid.
Well, let's talk about the entire thing. What do you think about the Gallinari pickup?
Fine, that'll work. Blake Griffin's gonna be the face of the franchise. He's gonna step up. He's gonna probably play better than we've seen him play. And he's gonna do his thing. He's gonna be the leader of that team. Gallinari, what position does Gallinari play? Small forward. That's what they need. Yeah. They need a good small forward. That's the missing piece.
Real quick, I hate they got a good small forward when Chris Paul leaves. I want to see what the Clippers would do with a good small forward with their whole team. JJ Redick left too.
Oh, I don't care. I'm tired of that core.
I can see that. But yeah, so you got
and if he doesn't do it with a small forward, then what's going to be the excuse then? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna hurt his legacy, not help it.
Right. Okay, so Jordan, Griffin, Gallinari. I don't know who their starting shooting guard is. I don't think they'll be starting Lou Williams. And then they're talking about either Patrick Beverly or if they get Derrick Rose. Even if they did get Derrick Rose, Patrick Beverly might still start. I don't know.
Yeah, Patrick Beverly. That's a great addition.
Yeah.
Great addition.
So what do you think the Clippers are gonna do this year?
They're cursed. So I don't know.
Oh, they're cursed.
They're cursed.
Curse notwithstanding, right? What do you think they're gonna do? 'Cause I'm not saying I don't know.
Ain't no telling. If they click well, they might could get to 3rd seed.
See, you think they could be better without Chris Paul, huh? Because you'd have to think that if you think he's a ball stopper like that.
They might could get to 3rd seed. Now think about that. That will hurt your proclamation even more. If they do better when Chris Paul leaves. There's no way you're going to tell me that Kyrie is not better than Chris Paul.
I would argue it's not the same team.
Yeah, the team would be better.
No, I'm talking about the same team. Like, it's not like there was only one transaction, and that was subtraction of Chris Paul. No, you had the subtraction of him because you added Gallinari, you added Patrick Beverly, you added potentially D Rose, you added Lou Williams. It's not the same team. That's what I mean by that. Right.
The only difference is Danilo Gallinari.
Lou Williams is the difference.
Patrick Beverly is just a swap of Chris Paul.
Lou Williams, the beast.
He's coming off the bench, ain't he?
That matters.
They already had a good bench.
And the thing is, Gallinari is not a minor thing either. He's really good. I I've seen it. I saw.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So.
But he's had really good players for years now.
I don't know. That's the art. I'm saying it now. I would say, man, look, is it sometimes you have a certain mix where you got a team that it might look better. They're not better on the court though. You know what I'm saying? They might be better on paper. I'm saying they're not necessarily better on the court. It would be something like that. So if it turns out to be a better team, now here's would be a good example. If the Bulls, like when Michael Jordan retired the first time, right? And they stayed afloat. Now I don't know if they added anybody, but that looks kind of bad on Jordan because if
what are you talking about?
When they were able to only lose like 2 more games than they did the year before. Wow. Now they didn't get as far in the playoffs, but they won. But they won about the same amount of regular season games. Now if they didn't replace him, that looks bad because there was only a subtraction and you didn't really replace him. Now I don't know if they did or not, but that's a good example. This whole Clippers team is different now. You got too many different pieces to sit there and say, oh, well, they did better without him.
Man, they only won 2 more, lost 2 less games. Shit, there was another Hall of Fame player on that team to pick up the slack, and there were 2 more players on that team that made the All-Star team.
Who you talking about?
Horace Grant and B.J. Armstrong both made the All-Star game that year. So, and you had Tony Kukoc, who was 6th man of the year. So let's put this in context. You feel me?
So I guess the Heat when LeBron left, they should have.
Well, who did they have?
They had Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was still.
Chris Bosh was sick.
No, he was still playing. He made
sick.
He made the. You need to check the facts. He made the All-Star team the year.
Still fucking sick.
He made the All-Star team subsequent to LeBron leaving. That both Dwayne Wade. I remember their team was bad, but
exactly.
Okay, but that's how it's supposed to be. When you lose somebody of that caliber, you're supposed to be bad.
Did you hear what I named? I named 2 All-Stars. Scottie Pippen, a Hall of Famer, and a fucking Bosh, 6th man of the year.
Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade.
That's all you named. Did you hear what I named? I'm going to do it again. 2 All-Stars, a Hall of Famer, and a 6th man of the year. You named Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, who was on his way down.
2 Hall of Famers.
You named Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, who was on his way down.
They're on their way down, but they made the
All-Star
team.
Wade was on his way down.
Terrible argument. They made the All-Star team without.
Just because they made the All-Star team doesn't mean they were supposed to.
They were voted in by coaches. They weren't starting.
I don't care who they were voted in.
The coaches.
Do you know how many?
They know more basketball. They forgot more basketball.
Dwayne Wade was terrible, dog. He was not good. When LeBron, because first of all, Dwayne Wade wasn't playing good in the playoffs when LeBron was there. So what's your point?
I don't know the numbers, but right now
he averaged 17 points
per
per game. I think it was.
See what they averaged in 14. 15.
It wasn't 14 points because some ridiculous ass number.
We're talking about look at the regular season numbers of the 2014-15 season. If you do that, I'm quite sure you'll see that those 2 are still playing at an all-star level. So, they should have, by your logic, they should have done better. I know they didn't have those guys available, or Chris Bosh, namely.
Yeah, Chris Bosh missed half the damn season, man.
But if you go back to that, I'm sure if you go to the game log, you'll see that they were still losing when they had Chris Bosh. I'm quite sure you'll see that. I remember they started the season off badly. So it wasn't just those games he missed. They were shit with him. And I said that when it was more relevant. I remember saying that. No, I said that to you. You said with Chris Bosh, they go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I remember saying that. So this isn't something new here. I've been saying that they're just not all that good without LeBron.
They'd have been okay if they had been able to stay healthy in jail. Because you're forgetting that Dwayne Wade was not nearly as good as he was before either. It wasn't just Chris Bosh. It was both. Both level of talent went down. Not so much with Chris Bosh because he was injured. He just missed a whole bunch of games. Right. But Dwayne Wade wasn't himself either.
Chris Bosh kicked his up actually when he was on the court.
You feel me? So that's what it is. It was 2 individuals, not just one, man.
Well, like I said, if you go back and look at the game log, see, I know the Dwayne Wade. I hate what you're saying. Let me address that before I say this. Yeah, he wasn't as good as he used to be, but that kind of drop, they shouldn't have dropped like that by your logic.
Why you say that?
He didn't drop enough where they should have lost all those many games more than they, like.
How you figure?
I don't.
You go from having 3 superstars on a team to 1.
Dude, I don't figure. No, I don't figure. I'm talking about by your logic. That's the thing.
You go from having 3 superstars on a team to 1.
To 2.
1.
Let's look at the samples.
Chris Bosh missed half the fucking season.
Again, they were playing poorly with him. What do you have to say to that? You haven't addressed that.
First of all, I don't know that they play poorly with him. You say they play poorly with him.
Well, you can look it up right now.
I don't know if they play poorly with him or not. If you lose a big member of a team, it might take you a little while to gel back. Who knows?
See, you sound like a big pile of excuses here. You're just trying to justify the Bulls.
What's the excuse?
You're trying to justify the Bulls. You're trying to justify the Bulls stay afloat without him.
I don't know what you want me to say, man.
I'm
not going to acquiesce that Michael Jordan was not important to the Bulls.
See,
if that's what you're trying to get me to say, you'll be wearing a long gray beard. Okay?
I'm only
because
saying
that next year, when Michael Jordan was not on the team, okay, they were like 20 games below 500. When Michael gets back, they go through a 13-game winning streak and end up doing the 72-10 season the next year after. And then the next year after that, they do a 69-win season. I'm not listening to none of what you saying, bro.
Well, I'm not saying.
And you acting like they fucking won the championship without him. They didn't get there.
Well, no.
So all that regular season shit you talking about don't mean shit to me. I don't care. We're talking about Chris Paul. Okay? That's what we're talking about. If Chris Paul leaves the fucking Clippers and they start to do well, better without him. Better, sir. There's a difference between staying afloat and being better. Michael Jordan's team, the Bulls, still won 2 less. You dig?
Yeah, they won 2 less.
Okay. I said if they do better when Chris Paul leaves, that's going to look bad on Chris Paul.
And I'm telling you, I don't agree because it's a different team. Like, what if LeBron went to the Clippers? Then does it look bad on Chris Paul because they didn't win?
No, because LeBron is the best player in the world. So no.
Okay, Kevin Durant.
Danilo Gallinari is not supposed to be as good as Chris Paul.
Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard.
Second best player in the world.
Kawhi Leonard.
Third best player in the world.
Nah.
Okay?
See, that's the thing.
1, 2, and 3 respectively.
Kawhi Leonard is not the third best. But
there are those that will give you an argument about that.
Well,
don't make it seem like what I'm saying is stupid. There's a lot of people that think that Kawhi could be the third best player in the world. Certainly top 5.
Charles Barkley says number 1.
Okay,
but
certainly a top 5 player in the league in the world right now. So we're talking about Danilo Gallinari. This man is not even supposed to be as good as Chris Paul, let alone all these niggas you talking about.
It's not like I just said. It's not like I said. I'm not. It's not like fuck. He's the only guy who came on the team. There was multiple guys who came.
Okay, so Lou Williams off the bench. They already have a good bench.
Why does that not matter? Because it
doesn't matter because they already have a good bench. He should have been able to get it done with a good bench.
It's even better.
He should have gotten it done with the bench he had. Him being a star, a superstar, he should have been able to get it done with the bench that he had. So you taking and putting Lou Williams on the bench and subtracting him, that shouldn't be the difference maker. Nah. And then Patrick Beverly, you replaced him with him, and he's an inferior point guard. So if they do better, it looks bad.
I don't agree, but I don't really have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, there ain't really too much to say about that.
Whatever.
Can't really say too much on that
one. I think that's about it. Is there anything else you wanted to add though?
Nope.
All right.
I'm a champ.
No, you're not.
No, I'm always a champ, G.
That was bad.
Hey, y'all hit me up, Joe.
That was a bad argument.
If it's a bad argument, poke holes in it.
I already did. I'm not going to keep repeating myself.
There's nothing you can say.
I'm not going to talk in circles.
Danilo Gallinari is inferior to Chris Paul. That is not enough. If they do better by replacing him with an inferior player, how the fuck can that help your argument?
Because maybe see, I already know I'm right, because it doesn't look bad on Chris Paul.
If they do, it looks bad on me. If they do better without Chris Paul, the first thing people are going to say is that Chris Paul couldn't do it. Now they're doing better without him. That's the first thing people are going to say. And anybody who knows anything about how the media works knows that's what everybody's going to say.
I don't care what the media
is going to say. Everybody's going to say that. Not just the media. I'm just saying the media is going to push the narrative. But everybody's going to say that.
Well,
everybody knows if the Clippers do better without Chris Paul, they're going to say Chris Paul was the problem.
Sure.
Okay. Now he says sure.
I'm saying that's what they're going to say. I don't agree with it though. See, I can take out what I think and what they're going to say. It's not the same thing.
Well, if they're saying it, then I would feel like there has to be some merit to it.
No, I don't.
Especially when they're replacing him with inferior players. You dig? None of those players are better than Chris Paul that they're replacing him with.
What if they mix better with Blake Griffin? Because that's the thing that people say. Maybe Blake Griffin and what's his name, Chris Paul aren't compatible.
That's funny because you said that two individuals who don't get along, that shouldn't.
No, I'm talking about on the court compatibility.
Yeah, I'm not talking about. You said that shouldn't have anything to do with how well they do.
On court compatibility does have something to do with it. The Lakers,
well, absolutely.
I'm not talking about how good of friends they are. I'm not talking. I don't believe in that.
I didn't say nothing about friendship. I said if two people don't get along,
that's getting along. That's not getting along. That's part of what I'm talking about. Like I'm not talking about the relationship. I'm talking about on the court.
See, he doesn't remember. A while back, me and him had a debate where I was saying that on-court chemistry can be affected, how well people do by how well they get along. Okay? He just said that one of the reasons why the Clippers probably had problems was because Blake Griffin and Chris Paul could not get along.
I did not say that. We can replay it right now.
What did you say then, nigga?
I said that they're not compatible on the court. That's what I'm saying.
What you mean they're not compatible on the court?
As far as their games, their styles probably don't mesh. I don't believe in that. You're not going to get me.
What do you mean that styles don't mesh?
Maybe that's the reason why if they do better, you got somebody.
Didn't you just say he's supposed to be this great passer? So why his style don't mesh?
Because Blake Griffin passes too. He's always passing. He's this guy who averaged 5 assists.
What does him passing got to do with him and Chris Paul?
Maybe you always talk about two facilitators. See, now you're being
Blake Griffin is not a facilitator. Yeah, he's just a good passer. There's a difference between two facilitators.
You're being inconsistent.
I'm not being inconsistent. He's just fucking talking and not listening. I'm answering this dumbass question. There's a difference between being a facilitator and a good passer. There are a lot of good passers. That doesn't make you a facilitator. Okay, James Harden is a facilitator. He's not just a good passer. There are people who are good passers for their position. That doesn't make them a fucking facilitator.
So Joakim Noah, let's say, wasn't a facilitator?
He was a decent passer for the center position.
Al Horford's not a facilitator?
He's a good passer. I'm not calling him a facilitator. A facilitator is somebody that makes plays, who brings the ball down the court and can fucking see.
Al Horford does do that.
Oh, I've never seen him do that. So if he does, my bad. Respect to him, but I've never seen him do that. Okay. So that's not what I call a facilitator. You can be a decent passer. That don't make you a facilitator. But whatever. Anyway, we're mixing.
He might mesh. Maybe they don't. Who knows? But if they do better without Chris Paul, I would say the collection of players they have around them probably meshes better around Blake Griffin. Like he has pieces around him that mesh better with.
Yeah, and that's what I try to compare Blake Griffin and Chris Paul to James Harden as Chris Paul is asinine. Both of the two totally different players. Yes, Blake Griffin can pass, but he don't pass nearly as good or as well as James Harden.
No.
Nor within the level of consistency that James Harden does. So to try to compare that shit is ridiculous. Oh, man. Sometimes talking to this dude, man, I swear it give you a headache, man.
Man, knock it off. You're the one who...
Give you a motherfucking headache,
You're the one who don't be understanding what I mean when I'm saying things that make sense. You know,
I mean, I am too. What am I saying that doesn't make sense?
I'm not saying it didn't. I just don't. I don't agree with saying, oh, if they do better without Chris Paul, that means that he was the problem. No, it just means.
See, he doesn't want to accept that narrative because then that will hurt his proclamation or assertion, I should say, that he's better than Kyrie.
Now,
that would hurt.
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm not even thinking about that.
You were when I first mentioned it.
I'm just consistent. That's all.
Yeah, no, he just thinks he knows damn well that would hurt it.
I think
because you can't say that Kyrie is worse than Chris Paul if a team that he leaves does better. That's impossible. You can't say that.
If the only thing that happened different with that team is him leaving and they do better somehow, that's not even possible. But if that happened, then I'll be like, yeah, that's on Chris Paul. Now that's not the only. That's not the. I know that's extreme, but too much have changed about that team for me to sit there and say, oh, he was the problem. This is a different team, and that different team could either be better or worse.
The team that was constructed should have done way better than it did. So it doesn't even matter. He still failed at a virtual super team.
That's not all on him, you know.
Well, it is because he can't stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? He demands too much of his teammates. He doesn't get along with a lot of the guys on there. You know, they have problems with him. Blake Griffin had problems with Chris Paul outside because I forgot to mention he actually did have problems with Chris Paul off the court, not just on the court.
Right, that's true.
Okay? So they had problems with each other. There was deep-rooted issues on there. So for you to say it ain't Chris Paul's fault is ridiculous.
I said it's not all his fault. I didn't say he had no fault.
Mainly on him.
I'm not going
to. Okay? I don't care. When you're dealing with a team sport, obviously you can't put 100% of blame on any one person. But he can carry the majority.
I'm not going to say either way on that one. I don't know. But
how you demand too much of your players and you don't even come through.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's about it. Unless there's anything you want to add.
No, man, I'm good, bro.
All right, DQ Podcast, dynamic debate duo on hand here. We're gonna do on our next episode, and this is the first time we've ever done this. I think we're gonna do more of an introductory episode where you guys can kind of get a look into our lives and what just how we make a living and stuff like that. Just a little stuff about us because we haven't really properly introduced ourselves. I think that's how we're gonna do it. But until then, Jay out.
All right, LJ out.